From Stony Brook, Cole Perigine.
All right, we will get you the starting lineup for the Wareham Gatemen very shortly. Let's take you live inside Spillane Field to PA announcer Dan Dias.
Baseball League Hall of Fame induction ceremony. First, for the visiting Redsox. Leading off the shortstop, number 10, Taylor White from UNLV. Batting second, the right fielder, number 12, Eric Falia from UCLA. Batting third, the designated hitter, number 25, Andrew Daniel from San Diego.
Well, a little uninformed right now of what's going on with the pregame ceremonies, but let's get you the Wareham Gatemen starting lineup, and this is what manager Cooper Ferris has turned in tonight. Cole Sturgeon will lead it off. He'll be in center field. Batting second in right field, Sean McMullen. Trevor Podratz bats third. He's at first base. In the cleanup spot, playing third base, Willie Schwanke. Chris Chinea back behind the plate. He bats fifth. Cole Stansel in the infield at second base, bats sixth. Batting seventh, the designated hitter is Matt Walsh. Batting eighth at shortstop is Ethan Gross. And rounding out the lineup in left field from Baylor is Adam Toth. And, of course, on the mound for the Gatemen is Kurt McCune from LSU. And let's take you back into Spillane Field.
Hits the outside, Roney charging from third base, and makes the play. The throw first, put that below scoop. He got it. On the move, bolts for second, slides in, safe, check ahead. Call no charge, he got him, counting that. Higgins for the big right-hander. 2-1 pitch to Walsh, so a high fly ball deep, the left back row, way off the fence. Rounding third, and for all his lips in, he will score. Little flare in the short left center field. Gross running, he makes the grab over the shoulder. Chopper after Huffman goes home to Walsh on to first. 1, 2, 3, double play.
And now introducing the starting lineup for your Wareham Gatemen. Leading off the center fielder, number 11, Cole Sturgeon from Louisville. Batting second, the right fielder, number 16, Sean McMullen from LSU. Batting third, the first baseman, number 24, Trevor Podratz.
Apologies again, some miscommunication on our end. Let's talk a little bit about Kurt McCune. I guess we have some more time before our first pitch, but let's talk about Kurt McCune in 2013 at LSU. 4-0 with a 2.66 earned run average, started 4 games. Wasn't too bad, but he was also here last season.
Yeah, he was here last summer, but he battled injury, and he's had an up-and-down time at LSU. 14 games started for him during his freshman season, and he was a weekend starter for the Tigers, and that's a great program. He was a Baseball America freshman, second-teamer as an All-American. Just very impressive stuff. And then his sophomore season, 21 appearances, only 6 starts. Still, turned in a pretty solid ERA, right around 4. Only threw 42 innings, and then as a junior, made 4 starts and 23 and 2/3 innings, a 2.66 ERA. So it's been up and down, and we'll actually speak with him after the game. He's one of the newest arrivals, so he's excited to get out there, and we're excited to see what he has to offer.
Yeah, Wareham needs desperately some good pitching tonight. And let's take you now again inside Spillane Field for the national anthem.
Fire in Arizona. Let us remember their heroic bravery and take a minute to think about their families, friends, and loved ones they leave behind. Thank you. Please remain standing for the national anthem. Performing the national anthem this evening is Giovanna Basha. She is a singer and songwriter from Cranston, Rhode Island. She just graduated from Providence Country Day and will be attending St. John's University in the fall. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Giovanna Basha.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed after twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
It is with great pride this evening that the Wareham Gatemen welcome Needham, Massachusetts native and 2012 Olympic champion Allie Raisman to Spillane Field to throw out a ceremonial first pitch. In the 2012 Olympic Games in London, Allie was the captain of the gold medal winning U.S. gymnastics team, also known as the Fierce Five. In addition, Allie took home individual medals, winning the gold on the floor and a bronze medal on the balance beam. Also, in addition to being a decorated Olympic champion, Allie was a breakout star on popular television show Dancing with the Stars this past spring, taking home 4th place with her partner Mark Ballas. Ladies and gentlemen, please give a Spillane Field welcome to 2-time Olympic champion, 3-time Olympic medalist, Allie Raisman.
I am Ethan Gross, and this is Wareham Gatemen Baseball.
I'm Tino Lipson, and this is Wareham Gatemen Baseball.
Hi, I'm Adam Toad, and this is Wareham Gatemen Baseball.
I'm Cooper Ferris, and this is Wareham Gatemen Baseball.
Newcomb's 3-2 hits the outside corner for strike 3.
Roney charging from third, goes to the backhand, makes the play. The throw on the first, pull draft the low scoop. He got him.
1-2 pitch. Toes on the move, bolts for second, slides in, safe just ahead of the bag.
Called third strike, he got him. Count him, that's 8 Ks for the big right-hander.
2-1 pitch to Walsh, swinging a high fly ball deep to left. That will bang off the fence. Rounding third, headed for home is Lipson. He will score.
Little flare in the short, left center field. Throws running back, he makes the grab over the shoulder.
Chopper back to Huffman, throws home to Walsh, on to first. 1-2-3 double play.
And here's your broadcast team, Mike Monaco and Austin Pollock.
Welcome to Spillane Field for tonight's matchup between the Wareham Gatemen and the Yarmouth Dennis Red Sox. Alongside Austin Pollock, I'm Mike Monaco here on the Cape Cod Baseball League Network. Tonight we get a rematch of last season's championship series, which the Gatemen won 2-1 against the Red Sox in thrilling comeback fashion. This year the story has started differently. The Red Sox entered tonight's action at 7-1, while the Gatemen have scuffled to a 2-13 start. Tonight, Wareham sends a returner from that 2012 title squad to the mound in LSU right-hander Kurt McCune. YD will counter with 6'8" righty Jeremy Null, who's making his second start of the 2013 summer circuit. And Austin, we are just moments away from getting underway here at Spillane Field. Looks like we're going to get this one in.
Yeah, I feel like every morning we wake up and we're wondering whether this game's actually going to happen or whether we're going to have to wait out coming to the ballpark. But it's good that they keep these things, they keep getting these things in. They know they kind of don't have that many off days.
So Kurt McCune on the mound for the Gatemen, and leading things off for YD is TJ White. Here's the pitch, first pitch swing. It's to the third baseman, Schwanke. He fields it cleanly, throws over to Podratz. 1 pitch, 1 out, and that's how we get started here in Wareham, Massachusetts.
It was a hard hit ball. Schwanke was playing in on the grass. I think he was actually a little bit on the grass, right on the edge. But that was a hard hit ball.
Right at him. He was in tight. That'll bring up the number 2 man in the lineup, the right fielder from UCLA, Eric Falia. He's only played in 2 games, has only made 4 plate appearances. That's because he won the national title with the Bruins. He squares the bunt, pulls it back. It's a called strike, pumped in there by Kurt McCune.
That would be the baseball, the UCLA Bruins, not the Boston Bruins.
I think us Bruins fans need to let that one go.
Yeah.
McCune from the windup kicks and deals the 0-1, spots it in there nicely. Quickly down 0-2 is Eric Falia. Played against Harwich on Sunday night, 0 for 3 with a walk and a strikeout. Got one other at bat on Saturday. Here's the 0-2 on the way from McCune, swinging and fouled off Wareham Middle School. A sharp liner there.
Yeah, Falia didn't really take much time off. Right from Omaha, just came right here. It's really. We've seen a lot of players when they get eliminated from the college World Series take a couple of days off at home, but he just wants to keep on playing baseball. This is a baseball kid right here.
UCLA played against Mississippi State. Tomorrow, Wareham is expected to see Brett Pirtle come to town. Here's the 0-2. That's fouled back to the screen.
And Jonathan Holder too, right?
He should be in town soon thereafter, if not tomorrow. Pirtle, a middle infielder, batted clean up for the Bulldogs.
More offense that Wareham can use.
As we mentioned many a time during the pregame show, just an offense that has struggled mightily. YD, on the other hand, that offense has been potent. Count 0-2 here on Eric Falia. Here's the pitch. Looked like a slider there, bounced in front, blocked by Chinea. Ball and 2 strikes.
It's turned out to be actually not a very overcast night, just a little bit. There's a little blue in the sky. Nice night for baseball. It's a little humid.
So far, the weather, the bad weather, I should say, has held off. 1-2 the count to Falia. Here's the pitch. Inside there, but it's low and in. So 2 balls, 2 strikes. Falia has worked it back and evened things up. He played in all 66 games for UCLA and was dynamite in the College World Series against Mississippi State. 1 out here, top of the first. Here's the pitch. Inside with that one, doesn't get the call. Count has run full here.
Falia played for the Wisconsin Woodchucks of the Northwoods League last summer, hit .383.
He's the number 10 prospect in the league, according to Baseball America. Just finished his sophomore season. Here's the pitch. So Kurt McCune, after getting the count 0-2 on Falia, issues a free pass to the right fielder from UCLA, and with 1 out, Falia's aboard at first.
That brings up Andrew Daniel, someone coming in this game I was pretty concerned about. He leads the Cape Cod Baseball League in hitting at .421. He's 16 for 38.
The next highest player is at .370. That's Aaron Barbosa from Harwich. So Daniel, the right-handed batter, digs in. Here's the pitch. First pitch, breaking ball from McCune. Spotted in there nicely for strike 1.
Daniel from San Diego, California. Attends San Diego. Hit .265 last year.
Another big San Diego bat we saw, Connor Joe from Chatham.
We'll see him on Friday.
McCune from the stretch will check on Falia. He dives back safely.
I watched Kurt McCune kind of interact with his teammates, I guess, all throughout this week, and he really just seemed to be active and energetic.
Well, he's back for his second summer,
yeah,
and the guys that we've talked to that have been here for now a second summer just seem to have a whole different comfort level with this league, with this town, with the host family.
Yeah, it might help spark some energy and really get these guys to start winning some games. That's just what I think.
McCune fires the 0-1. That's up and away. Falia at first, stole 9 bags for the Bruins this past season as a sophomore. Was thrown out 7 times. Has yet to attempt a base on his young summer season. He extends his lead at first. McCune will check on him for a 3rd time. But back to Andrew Daniel. He has been a stud in this YD lineup. Driven in 10 runs, doesn't have a home run yet. 16 hits in 11 games coming into tonight's action.
He's not really built like a home run hitter, kind of just a small guy, average size.
Falia is off with the pitch. That's popped up on the infield. Podratz, the first baseman, is under it as Falia retreats back in time. Podratz makes the catch, and there's 2 away.
Very smart baseball right there. I thought by Kurt McCune, just sprinted from the mound right over the first. Sometimes guys will stop to see where the ball is, but he knew his infield was going to get it. He just ran right over first to cover the bag. Smart defense there by McCune.
Well, we've seen pitcher coverage at first base. That's been an issue at times throughout this season, more on ground balls, but
oh no, he's very alert, and I think that's good. There's a good quality right there.
Certainly the case as Alex Blandino digs in with 2 outs. Tonight, Blandino at third base. The Stanford product takes ball 1. He's listed at 6 feet, 190 pounds from Palo Alto, California. 6 hits so far this summer in 7 games. Another check on Falia, who dives back. McCune paying a lot of attention over there to Falia. Blandino riding a 4-game hitting streak for the Red Sox. McCune again will check on Falia, dives back safely.
This might be one of the bigger crowds I think we've seen at Spillane tonight. Of course, Allie Raisman here. That's going to spark some excitement. Get a lot of people here.
The Olympic champion who we will speak to later on.
So don't go anywhere.
McCune from the stretch fires home. That's inside, but a called strike. Painting the inner black. It's 1-1 to Blandino. Was a 38th round draft selection by the Oakland A's back in 2011. Had a great freshman campaign. Collegiate baseball freshman All-American. Another check over there on Falia. He's back safely. Blandino this past season for Stanford. 52 starts, batted .268. Smacked 7 home runs, drove in 32.
Falia can run. I'm not surprised McCune's keeping a close eye on him over at first base. It's also early. You don't want to get a runner in scoring position.
We know Wareham as a team has been stolen on quite a bit this summer. 41 times, that leads the league. Wareham catchers have thrown out 9 of those runners, and that 22% caught stealing rate is 6th best in the league.
Majority of that is with either Saylor or Walsh behind the plate. So now with Chinea here, that might change a little bit. Could worsen, of course. Anything could happen. But I'm fairly confident.
The LSU catcher playing in his 3rd game. Falia's off with the pitch, but that's fouled off to the right side by Blandino. Ball and 2 strikes.
Boy, this isn't only a stressful at-bat for McCune, but it's also pretty stressful for Falia. Having to always go back to first where there's a foul. I mean, hitting runs and anything.
Very tense top of the 1st inning. A lot of interaction between Falia and McCune. It's kind of giving off the impression that the batters are really working things here. They haven't faced a lot of pitches yet from McCune. As he fires the 1-2. That's laced into center field for a base knock. Cole Sturgeon bobbles that one out in center field. Rounding second, heading for third is Falia. He's in there easily. That one just got away from the Wareham center fielder Sturgeon. And there's runners at the corners with 2 outs.
That's kind of like you're just asking for trouble. Because now you got Falia in the first run for YD just 90 feet away. And you could have had him at second base had Sturgeon made that play out there in center.
That one just briefly got away from Cole Sturgeon, and so with 2 down, runners at the corners. Falia at third. Blandino on the single is at first, and up steps the number 5 man, Kyle Wood, tonight's first baseman from Purdue. McCune from the stretch, he deals. Spots the fastball nicely outside for strike 1. Kyle Wood, a 2-way player for the Red Sox. He's pitched just under 9 innings, has had 15 at-bats at the dish. The 0-1 on the way from McCune. Another great location with the fastball. 2 strikes to the left-handed hitting Kyle Wood.
Interested to see what the official scoring is on the play that allowed Falia to get to third. Maybe reached third on the error by Sturgeon in center. We'll have to wait and see. I don't know if it's official yet.
2 strikes on Wood. Here's the pitch. Swing, and that's fouled off to the left side. Count remains no balls and 2 strikes. First start of the summer for Kurt McCune, pitching to his LSU battery mate Chris Chinea. McCune just finished his junior season with the Tigers, made 4 starts. Here's the 0-2. Strike 3 called. Kyle Wood goes down looking, and Kurt McCune leaves them stranded at the corners here after the top of the first inning. There is no score from Spillane Field. You're listening to the Cape Cod Baseball League Network. Back here for the bottom of the first inning at Spillane Field. No score after 1/2 frame. And Austin, let's get the Wareham starting lineup as manager Cooper Ferris has penciled it in.
Cole Sturgeon will lead it off. He'll be in center field. Sean McMullen bats second. He's in right field. Trevor Podratz bats third. He's at first base. Willie Schwalke in the cleanup spot. He is at third base. Chris Chinea is the catcher, batting fifth. Cole Stansel is at second base. He is batting sixth. Matt Walsh from Franklin Pierce bats seventh. He's tonight's designated hitter. Batting eighth at shortstop from Memphis is Ethan Gross. And batting ninth in left field, of course, from Baylor is Adam Toth. And pitching tonight for the YD Red Sox is Jeremy Null.
Null, the big 6'8" right-hander from Claremont, North Carolina. Just finished his sophomore season at Western Carolina. He was an All-Southern Conference second-teamer. A big strikeout guy. Racked up 109 punch-outs in 91 innings this past season. So Cole Sturgeon, the leadoff hitter for the Gatemen. He's been scuffling. Has only played in 4 games, and he starts the summer at 2 for 15. Here's the first pitch of the game. That's pumped in there for strike 1 from Null.
No, not really a very overpowering pitcher. Pretty much just focuses on his command.
The 0-1 is up and in. Certainly doesn't inhibit him when it comes to the strikeouts, though. He had 9 in his only other start this summer against Chatham. Here's the 1-1. Too far inside with that one. 2 balls and 1 strike to Sturgeon, the Louisville center fielder who made a bit of an error out in center field in the top of the first, but it didn't come back to haunt the Gatemen. Here's the 2-1. Swing and a miss there by Sturgeon. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
The light's starting to come on here at Spillane Field. And when I said there was some blue in the sky, I think I kind of jinxed it because now it is just completely overcast.
Been questioning the weather all day.
All
Here's
season.
the 2-2 on the way. That's fouled. Up and out of play.
Feels like we've been questioning it all season. As I said, every morning, we're always texting each other, think this game's going to happen? We should wait it out. I'm like, I'm going.
The past few games have all been 50% chance of rain and thunder showers.
So far, we've been okay. It was a couple sprinkles in Orleans.
The 2-2, that's flown out to the outfield. Going back is the shortstop. That's White. Coming in, the left fielder, Honchel. He puts it away for out number 1 in the home half of the first.
You know, we talked after the Orleans game that Sturgeon seems to be somebody who's not exactly maybe waiting for his pitch, kind of rushing things right there. I didn't see it as much. Maybe that's something that they're thinking about, maybe that you can't see in batting practice, but you notice in the back of their mind they're thinking about it.
Worked a longer at-bat there, and he gives way now to Sean McMullen, the number 2 hitter. He takes strike 1, the right fielder from LSU.
McMullen was one of those players yesterday at Fenway Park to have a good day. He seemed like he was really enjoying it.
He actually got hit in the head during batting practice. The Red Sox were taking BP at the time. So he tries to check his swing there, and he does. 1 ball and 1 strike. He was in center field preparing to run the 60-yard dash. And one of the YD Red Sox who was taking BP launched a fly ball out to center field into a crowd of Gatemen, and it hit McMullen on the back of the head. That one's inside for ball 2.
No concerns. He said he's fine, and I talked to him before the game. Nothing.
Well, yeah, I spoke with him right after it happened, and he was still coming in ready to take his own BP.
He's a tough kid. He's small, but he's a tough kid.
Yesterday, of course, was the Fenway Park workout for all the Cape League teams. Here's the 2-1. Low and away, but it gets the outer edge, 2-2. Home plate ump Richard Emerson with the call there. At first, it's Tim Carey, and the third base umpire is Joseph Peters. So 2-2 on Sean McMullen. 1 down. McMullen with 3 hits in 3 games. Here's the 2-2. That's flared up the middle. Coming in is the center fielder Downs. He was playing shallow, and he puts it away for out number 2.
I thought it was going to drop, but Brandon Downs, we know he can play some defense, so he's not going to miss anything, really. Not something like that. If a ball's about to fly over the fence, he'll get it, as we know.
It was featured on SportsCenter's Top 10 Plays. I believe it was number 6. The great play he made to rob a home run this past weekend.
I think it was on Saturday, maybe?
Saturday night into Sunday.
Yeah.
So that'll bring up the number 3 hitter, Trevor Podratz. He fans at that one, 0-1.
Yeah, just a lazy swing right there. Just kind of threw the bat out there. Didn't even keep 2 hands on the bat.
Podratz comes in hitting at 246. Was 2 for 4 against the Firebirds on Sunday. Here's the 0-1. Breaking ball there gets the upper edge of the strike zone. No balls, 2 strikes to Podratz. No score here at Spillane Field. Overcast night. The lights are on. The rain has held off thus far. The 0-2 on the way. Low and away for ball 1. Jeremy Null walked 2 batters against the Anglers last Tuesday. Worked 5 2/3, gave up 7 hits and 5 runs. He started the game, though, with 5 straight strikeouts. Here's the 1-2. That's fouled off to the right side. Podratz stays alive. Podratz on Sunday, those 2 hits he had were both sharply hit balls down the left field line. He's been a pretty steady bat for the Gatemen. As here's the 1-2. Bounced in the dirt, blocked by the catcher Wayne Taylor. Taylor doing the catching around the infield for the Red Sox. It's Alex Blandino, TJ White, Cole Perigine, Kyle Wood. Left to right, Matt Honchel, Brandon Downs, and Eric Falia. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Swing, and he tried to hold up, and he did. It was a low pitch there from Null. Podratz refrained from the swing, so it's a full count.
This game tonight against YD, I believe, officially means that Wareham has played every other team in the Cape League.
Here's the 3-2. That's driven out toward right field, tailing away from Falia. That gets down. Falia over to fielder. Podratz rounding first, heading for second. He is in ahead of the throw, slides in safely with a 2-out double.
Nice piece of hitting for Trevor Podratz. Opposite field, went all the way to the wall. He was really rounding the first base pretty hard. He was going for it and hitting the slide, and I think he would have been okay. So now Cooper Ferris will have a little word with him.
Well, we know Wareham has struggled to find extra base hits so far this summer. Wareham just came in with 8 doubles, 2 home runs. Every other team in the league had at least 19 extra base hits. YD actually leads the league with 33. They're going to say that Jeremy Null balked right there before he even threw a pitch. So Podratz will move up to third base. And
that's like a free. It's a free other base, but now it's like a triple.
Podratz will take it. Stocky first baseman is aboard at third, 2 outs, and the cleanup man Willie Schwanke, the third baseman from Arkansas, at the plate. Null fires home, spots up the slider nicely for strike 1.
It was a nice slider. I'm actually looking into the left center field gap, and we know Schwanke likes to go out there, and that's a nice gap right out there to drive in Podratz.
Downs, the center fielder, is a few steps toward right. Schwanke definitely someone that goes the opposite way. He takes that one, but it's strike 2 on the outer edge. Another breaking ball there from Null. Quickly 2 strikes on Willie Schwanke. He was 0 for 3 against the Firebirds with a pair of strikeouts.
He's in a little bit of a slump right now. He was on fire for a while. Now he's starting to cool down a little bit.
Batting .250 through 11 games. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss there. Schwanke goes down swinging. And Podratz is stranded at third base here as we conclude the first inning from Spillane Field. No score after 1. You're listening to the Cape Cod Baseball League Network. We'll be right back. We head to the second inning here on the Cape Cod Baseball League Network alongside Austin Pollock. I'm Mike Monaco. No score after one here in Wareham, Mass. Kurt McCune back out for his second inning of work. He threw 20 pitches in the first inning to retire the Red Sox. Left 2 runners on base as he got out of harm's way. Left the runners at the corners there. And he will face, coming up in this inning, 6, 7, 8 for Yarmouth Dennis. It begins with Brandon Downs, the center fielder, who comes in hitting at 267. First pitch swinging, that's fouled off to the right side.
Downs was 0 for 3, scored a run against Harwich on Sunday. A game that was featured, of course, on WEI as part of the Cape League Sunday night game. John Mayberry, our dear friend, was in attendance at that game, and he's here standing right behind us tonight.
Here's the 0-1. Pumped in there for strike 2.
Always good to have John here in Wareham.
John was part of the out-of-town scoreboard crew during that broadcast on Sunday night, helping out John Garner and Larry Egan. 0-2 on Downs. Here's the pitch from McCune. Swing and a miss as McCune pulls the string and gets the center fielder to go down. And that's how we start the top of the second. Second strikeout of the night for McCune.
Back-to-back strikeouts. He ended the first inning with a strikeout to Kyle Wood.
So after those 2 straight punch-outs, up comes the left-handed hitting Wayne Taylor, the Stanford catcher, hitting at 292. Here's the pitch from McCune. Tries to locate the fastball on the outer edge, but it's ball 1. Taylor has played in 7 games so far. Was 0 for 4 on Saturday. Here's the 1-0. Inside with that one, but too far in, and it's 2-0. Taylor was a 14th round choice by the Los Angeles Angels in 2011. McCune from the windup fires the 2-0. That's a high pop-up, lifted into center field. Gross going out. Sturgeon coming in. Gross will make the play. Still backpedaling way out there into Sturgeon's territory, but he puts it away for out number 2.
I was about to say, someone's going to have to call for that. It was kind of another, like a triangle. You got Toth, Sturgeon, and Gross out there. Who's going to make the catch? Somebody's got to call him off.
The wind at this point not really blowing around much.
It's getting a little foggy, just a little bit out there in center field.
So with 2 down here, top of the second, up comes Matt Honschel, the left fielder from Miami of Ohio. He's hitting at 324. First pitch bounced in there for ball 1. Against Brewster on Saturday, Honschel was 1 for 3, stole a base, and drew a walk. Here's the pitch from McCune. Low and in with that one, 2 balls to Matt Honschel. Played in the Great Lakes League last summer. This past season for Miami of Ohio, made all 56 starts, batted .340. Here's the 2-0. Inside with that one, McCune can't locate it. So quickly, 3 balls and no strikes to Honschel. The 3-0 on the way, and it's a 4-pitch walk to Matt Honschel. He trots on down to first base with 2 outs.
Second walk given up by McCune.
Up comes now the number 9 man. Cole Perugine climbs into the box. The switch hitter from Stony Brook is tonight's second baseman. He's hitting at 258 this summer through 12 games. Had a nice 2-hit day on Sunday against Harwich. That was his second multi-hit game of the season. McCune will check on Honschel, who dives back safely to first. Perugine, as a freshman for Stony Brook, had a great season. A Louisville Slugger freshman All-American. Was the America East Rookie of the Year. Also figured into the second team selection. Here's the pitch from McCune. Fires in a first pitch strike to Perugine.
Center fielder Sturgeon, couple steps toward left center.
We saw the defensive lineman was fairly shifted over to the right for the left-handed hitting Honschel. McCune, a long look in, now he fires. Can't spot the 0-1, so it evens it up at 1s to Cole Perugine, the Ontario native. Just finished his sophomore season.
Catcher Chineo was spotted on the outside corner, part of that outside black, but unable to get the call from Richard Emerson.
McCune again will check over on Honchel. Podratz this season has been busy at first fielding those pickoff attempts. He's had to get down and dirty on more than one occasion.
Well, whether he's jumping over the runner,
running into them.
Yeah, anything.
We've seen it all from Podratz at first. Natural catcher he is. Here's the 1-1. That's driven to the right side of the infield. It gets through to the outfield past a diving Stancil. Honchel will hold up at second. And with 2 outs, the YD Red Sox have 2 runners aboard here.
Just the second hit given up by McCune. Of course, in the first inning, he had Eric Falia stranded at third. And now you got another runner in scoring position, but the benefit of 2 outs. And TJ White, the batter, grounded out to third his last time up. A hard grounder at Willie Schwanke.
White digs in. It was the first pitch of the at-bat. Smoked it right to the third baseman, as you were saying. He comes up now with 2 on, 2 outs. He's driven in 2 runs so far, batting at 184. Does have a 3-game hitting streak. McCune checks the runner, now fires home. That's in there for strike 1 to start things off to White. Podratz playing pretty close to the line at first, behind the runner. McCune checking the runner at second, now he deals. That's laced again to Schwanke, who goes down to his knee and will just tag the bag at third for the force out. And that's how Kurt McCune gets out of the inning, leaves runners at first and second here. And we're done with the top of the second here at Spillane Field. When we return, it'll be Chris Chinea, Cole Stancil, and Matt Walsh coming up for the Gatemen. No score here after 1.5 on the Cape Cod Baseball League Network. Back here for the bottom of the second inning on the Cape Cod Baseball League Network. It'll be Chris Chinea leading things off for the Gatemen against Jeremy Null. Fires home the first pitch. Chinea got it off the handle. It's strike 1, fouled to the backstop. Chinea will be followed by Stancil and Matt Walsh, as that one's bounced in there for ball 1. Chinea, as we were saying, a late arrival from LSU. He was with the Tigers in Omaha, the 1-1. Gets the outside edge, a ball and 2 strikes.
I watched him work with Cooper Ferris before the game today. I think he was telling me that his front foot was open and he worked on closing it, maybe to get some more drive and power on the ball.
Here's the 1-2 pitch. That's too far outside. So far, Chinea 0 for 6 in 2 games. 1 strikeout against the Firebirds on Sunday. He was 0 for 3. Outfield straight away. Here's the pitch from Null. That one's bounced in, blocked by Taylor, runs the count full. Chinea only had 47 at-bats in 10 starts for LSU as a freshman. Made a few of those starts at catcher, a few at first base, and a few at DH. Here's the pitch. That's grounded to the left side of the infield, and it gets through the hole into the outfield. First hit of the summer for Chris Chinea, and it's a leadoff single for the LSU backstop here in the bottom of the second.
Well, as you mentioned, that was the first hit. Maybe that's what he was working on with Coop today, is that could have helped him get that hit right there.
So Chinea's aboard here to lead off things in the second. Up comes Cole Stancil, tonight's second baseman from St. Leo. He's 7 for 31 this summer in 12 games. The outfielder turned infielder. Here's the pitch from Null. Swing, and that's driven out toward left field down the line. Looks like that's going foul. A long fly ball there driven by Stancil, and it's only strike 1.
He's putting the bat on the ball and he's hitting it far.
We've seen him do that a lot. Been a pretty steady hitter for the Gatemen. Right-handed batter wags his bat. Chinea's at first. 6'8" Null deals that one. Bunt attempt, but he pulls back. The snap throw to first, not in time. Stancil pulled that one back, and it's a called strike, too. Chinea just barely dove back in time. 21 pitches in the first inning for Null. Fires home the 0-2. Swing and a miss there. Stancil fans at it. And that's out number 1. Second strikeout of the night for Null. First out of the inning. That'll bring up the number 7 hitter, Matt Walsh, the designated hitter. This is the lowest Walsh has batted in the Wareham lineup so far this summer. He's been steady for the Gatemen. 12 hits. He's batting .239. He's played in all 15 games.
0-2 against Orleans.
Driven in 3 runs for the Gatemen. Here's the pitch. That one's outside. Null can't locate it. 1-0. Walsh from nearby Plymouth, Mass. The Franklin Pierce catcher has had a few nights off, with Chinea now behind the plate. Here's the 1-0. That's upstairs for ball 2. Two balls and no strikes with 1 out here. Home half of the second inning. No score at Spillane Field. Ethan Gross on deck for the Gatemen. Here's the 2-0 pitch. That's in there for strike 1. Null fires that one in there. The only blemish on Null's first inning was the double by Podratz. That was with 2 outs and a full count. And the Hawaii first baseman smoked that one down the right field line. Now here's the 2-1 pitch. That's driven out toward right field, tailing away from Falia in the same spot. That'll get down. Rounding second, headed for third is Chinea, and he is in there safely. And Walsh has a 1-out single there, and Chinea moves up 2 bags to third.
So some 1-out magic maybe coming here for Wareham, hitting the ball well. That Walsh single was the same spot as Trevor Podratz. And what do you know, he ended up on third.
So with runners at the corners now, 1 down, and Ethan Gross climbs into the box. Number 8 hitter, tonight's shortstop from Memphis.
I mean, yeah, maybe if Wareham would just find ways to hit opposite field to the gaps, like, well, not really a gap, but down the line like that, something can happen.
First pitch is taken by Gross, but it's strike 1, pumped in there by Jeremy Null. This team is definitely focused on hitting to the opposite field. That's been a priority of manager Cooper Ferris.
You see it in batting practice, too.
Talks all the time about getting inside the ball. Seen that here on a pair of hits so far. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Bounced in the dirt, but it's blocked nicely by the catcher, Wayne Taylor. Scurries out to get it in front of the plate. Ethan Gross with a real chance here to get the Gatemen out in front early in this one. Here's the 1-1 pitch from Null. Inside, great spot with the fastball, 1-2.
Gross kind of jumped out of the way, but no, that was a good pitch. Right on the inside black.
Middle infield at double play depth. The outfield straight away. Right-handed hitting Ethan Gross. Null kicks and deals the 1-2. That's driven on the ground past the diving third baseman Blandino. In from third is Chinea, and the Gatemen are out in front. It's 1-0 here in the bottom of the second.
3 hits, all singles in this inning for Wareham. That's the 4th hit. The other one was a double by Podratz. But already 4 hits for Wareham. That's a good sign. And we're only in the second inning.
Just the second RBI of the summer for Ethan Gross, and the number 8 man in the lineup drives him home. And Wareham has its first lead in what's felt like a long time, Austin.
Oh, no question. That's got to feel good. No question.
Gatemen, of course, come in at 2-13. They have the 1-0 lead. Here's the pitch from Null. That's outside, and ball 1 to the number 9 hitter, Adam Toth. He's got runners at first and second. Looking to continue the nice start to this inning for the Gatemen bats. Toth at .236 on the season. Here's the pitch from Null. That's fouled straight back to the screen. Back out onto the field. 1 ball and 1 strike to the left fielder from Baylor.
And Sturgeon waits on deck, and we know Sturgeon has the ability to drive guys in with just a simple single up the middle or anything. Haven't really seen it so far, but it's still early for him. Not for the team, but for him.
Just got here last Monday from Omaha, Nebraska. Null checks the runner at second now, deals home. That's on the ground to the second baseman. Up with it is Perugine. He will throw on to first and take the sure out there. Both runners move up to second and third respectively. Toth put away at first. There's 2 down. And a pair of runners in scoring position here for the Gatemen.
Well, we saw in Cole Sturgeon's first at-bat of the summer, he singled. And I think Gateman Nation got a little excited. Oh, he's back. Now they've got a good bat, reliable hitter at the top of that lineup. Now is the time for him to do something. You got runners in second and third. But 2 outs.
It's Walsh at third, Gross at second. Top of the lineup in Sturgeon. Here's the pitch from Null. Breaking ball in there for strike 1. Sturgeon takes it. Cole Sturgeon from Owensboro, Kentucky. Batted .339 for Louisville this past season. Cardinals made it to the College World Series. Here's the 0-1 from Null. That's bounced in the dirt. Another block from Taylor behind the dish. Drove in 33 runs for Louisville as a junior. He's here for his second summer on the Cape with the Gatemen last year. Batted .297, drove in 15 runs. The 1-1 on the way from Null. That's high and away. 2 balls and a strike. Wareham has jumped out to the 1-0 lead. RBI single from Ethan Gross did the damage in this one. Shania led off with a single after a Stansel strikeout. Then Matt Walsh singled to right field. Here's the 2-1. Swing driven to the right side of the infield. The second baseman, Perugine, and it gets by him. He booted it. 2 runs will score for the Gatemen, and it's an early 3-0 lead here at Spillane Field.
Going to be an error on the second baseman, Perugine.
He came in having trouble in the field so far this summer, and we saw that right there. Sturgeon drove it to the right side of the infield. Perugine couldn't make the play. Walsh scored from third, and Gross scored from second. And the Gatemen are out to a 3-0 lead here in the bottom of the second.
That's got to be a very comfortable lead for Wareham, and they got to be confident about it as well.
Up comes now Sean McMullen. He flew out to center his first time. Takes ball 1 from Null. As a team, the Red Sox were first in the league in fielding with a .976 mark. Just 13 errors in 15 games, but Perugine came into tonight's action tied for second in the league with 5 errors. He gets number 6 right there. McMullen digs in, takes a strike on the outer black from Null. 1 ball and 1 strike to the LSU right fielder.
Well, now you've got Sturgeon with a little bit of speed over there at first. Might be a time to run.
Gatemen had struggled to score in the last 3 games, just 1 run combined. The 1-1 is too far outside, 2 balls and a strike. So this offense showing some signs of life. That has got to make Cooper Ferris happy. It's been a tough go of it. He knows that. He said he's really felt for his players during this tough skid. 1-9 in their last 10 games.
No,
here's the 2-1. The runner Sturgeon is off. That's fouled back to the screen by McMullen.
It's definitely challenging. There's no question. It's difficult, especially at, what is it, 2-13 you said? Yeah, 2-13. And the worst team in the league. That's just frustrating.
The Gatemen find themselves at the bottom of the Western Division. Every other team in the division has at least 7 wins, including Bourne, who's in 4th place at 7-8. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Taken high by McMullen. Runs the count full. Big inning for the Gatemen. They sure needed that. 3 runs, 3 hits. The 1 error was costly. Sturgeon at first here with 2 down. Left-handed hitting McMullen digs in. Sturgeon off. That's fouled back and out of play to the left side by Sean McMullen. YD, meanwhile, 7-7-1. That's 4th place in the Eastern Division. Another tight division. Chatham is in the lead out there at 9-5-1. Here's the payoff pitch from Null. Low and away, and McMullen draws a walk here with 2 outs. He moves up to first, and Sturgeon does the same to second, and up comes now Trevor Podratz, who doubled in his first at-bat.
Well, the command problems right now kind of surprised me for Null. 27 walks in 91 innings in 2013 at Western Carolina, so maybe just some command problems tonight, but yeah, it's other than that, just a little surprised.
Null only had 2 walks on the summer coming into this one in 8 2/3 innings pitched. He's up over 50 pitches already. Man at the dish now, Podratz. First pitch, breaking ball, that's a hanger. Podratz had to duck out of the way, it's 1-0.
Kind of just moved his head, swung his head around, and just kind of stared at the on-deck circle. Maybe he wasn't expecting that one. I don't think you ever are.
Nothing high and tight is ever fun to deal with as a hitter. A lot of speed out there on the bases for the Gatemen. Sturgeon at second, McMullen at first. Here's the pitch to Podratz. Swing and a drive out toward right center field. The right fielder, Falia, coming in, and he makes the grab.
Gave it a ride.
The Gatemen do get 3 runs in the inning, and they lead it 3-0 here after 2 innings from Spillane Field. Wareham out in front. You're listening to the Cape Cod Baseball League Network. We'll be right back with the 3rd inning.
Back out for the top of the 3rd inning. Kurt McCune looks to tackle this YD Red Sox lineup. The Gatemen get 3 in the bottom half of the 2nd inning and lead 3-0 here at Spillane Field. So here is Eric Falia to lead things off.
Falia was busy out in the field through the first 2 innings. Saw Podratz and Walsh smack balls out there.
First pitch from McCune, first pitch swing, grounder to second. Stancil up with the throws on to first. And there's 1 out here in the top of the 3rd inning. And I'll bring up the designated hitter Andrew Daniel, who popped up in foul territory to the first baseman Trevor Podratz. Wind blowing out toward right. Center fielder Sturgeon, couple steps toward left center. First pitch swing, that one's fouled back and out of play.
Just a completely different feel for Wareham through these first 2 innings. They haven't had leads, much less they haven't even scored runs in these past few games.
Pitch in the dirt, it's ball 1. 1-1 the count to Andrew Daniel.
Daniel had a great freshman season at San Diego. Followed it up with a pretty solid sophomore year.
1-1 is in there, a called strike. 1-2.
Batted .265 this past year. 24 RBIs, 4 home runs. Played with Chris Bryant, who was number 2 selection by the Chicago Cubs.
1-2 is in the dirt. It's 2-2 to Andrew Daniel, the designated hitter. Turned out to be a pretty nice night for baseball here. Comfortable conditions, and McCune's 2-2. Laced into left field, and that will fall in front of the left fielder, Adam Toth, for a 1-out single here in the top of the 3rd.
The ball was just hit on the screws by Daniel. You can just tell he is locked in at the plate.
Yeah, I thought Toth was going to make kind of a charge into it, but I think the ball was just sailing a little too quickly. And just not enough time to make any sort of effort or play on it. And that'll bring up the 3rd baseman, Alex Blandino. He singled in the 1st. So runner on is Daniel. And first pitch from McCune, checking his swing. It's going to be ball 1. Pitcher's in the dirt, throwing off the mask is Chris Chinea.
McCune, a lanky right-hander, throws over the top. Might be a little deception in his windup as well.
That one's popped up Giving chase is Chinea and Podrats that will go into the stands. Looks like Andro Chutura helping out with the 50-50 raffle tonight. One and one the count on Blandino. Daniel still on first with one out in the top of the third. Here's McCune's 1-1. That one's fouled off again and into the stands off the first base dugout. A long stare in there to his catcher, Chinea.
Blandino is up there swinging hard. Just hasn't straightened anything out yet, but I was watching him take batting practice yesterday at Fenway Park. He's got very nice, smooth swing and is a very quick bat.
McCune's 1-2. Popped up and will go into foul territory. Giving chase is Chinea. All the way back to the backstop.
Daniel was off with that pitch as well. So the hit and run on again from YD manager Scott Pickler. Little rematch of last year's championship series. Man, that was thrilling stuff. Wareham won it in the final game of the series at Red Wilson Field.
1-2 the count on Blandino. And McCune will check on Daniel over at first. He's back safely. Yeah, so coming off a championship season, tough start for Wareham. Pitch, that one's down the right field line, and it'll be fair. Giving chase is Toth, rounding second, headed for third, and being held up was Andrew Daniel, but Blandino is now into second with a one-out double. That was a close play. Could have been in foul territory, but just to the right of the foul line in left field.
Yeah, that ball was just scalded down the left field line. Great piece of hitting with 2 strikes there from Blandino. Second hit of the day for him, and there's guys at second and third.
Yeah, second and third with one out. That'll bring up Kyle Wood. Struck out looking back in the first. He was the first strikeout for McCune, and he was also the third out of the inning. But after the ground out for Falia, some trouble for Kurt McCune from LSU. He faces the lefty Kyle Wood. First pitch is swinging on the ground to the second baseman stance. So scoring is Daniel, and now it's a 3-1 game here at Spillane Field. So sacrifice ground out for Kyle Wood. That'll bring up Brandon Downs, the center fielder. He also struck out. Moving up to third is Blandino.
At this point in the game, if you're YD, you just take the runs any way you can get them. 3 runs. It felt like a big inning in the last half inning for Wareham, but 3-1, that is very doable at this stage in the ball game. Just take them as you can get them.
So here is Downs, the center fielder. And the first pitch from McCune is swinging, and that one's fouled back out of play.
Second time in this inning that he has started a YD hitter off with a breaking ball, and the Red Sox are doing a lot of first pitch swings, so I really like the approach from McCune there to try to keep them off balance at the plate.
0-1 the count. McCune staring at third, and the pitch. It's high up on the hands. 1-1 the count. He was staring at Blandino. See a lot of runners on third. Also at second, do a lot of dancing, kind of sprint toward home, get maybe about a third of the way there, and then just go back.
Well, that's exactly what Blandino did, and McCune didn't even flinch.
1-1 the pitch. Laced into center, going back is Sturgeon. He's got to go a long way. It looks like that one might get down, and it will. It's now 3-2, but moving into second is Downs with a 2-out double, an RBI double that scores Blandino. It's now 3-2 Wareham.
That ball was just ripped. High fly ball. I mean, it is deep to dead center field at 412. That was a little bit to the right of dead center field, but that ball was just blasted by Downs. And Sturgeon's a fast guy. He almost tracked that one down, but
that one just kept
a few hops off the wall.
Oh, it just kept going. It wouldn't stop. So here is Wayne Taylor, the catcher. Flew out to shallow left center. The catcher's made by Ethan Gross. 2 outs, 3-2 Wareham. Swing and a miss. 0-1 the count.
That's a great pitch there from McCune to a left-handed hitter. The changeup just drops off the table away from the lefty.
Oh, and 1 is the count on Taylor, and the pitch from McCune. Grounded to first. Podratz will take it himself in time for out number 3, but the Red Sox do get 2 in the top of the third, and through 2.5, it's 3-2 Wareham. Let's send it down to Hillary Bushway.
With over 600 events nationwide for players ages 8 through 18 and over 50,000 college success stories. The 99 Restaurant has 9 real-size entrees for only $9.99. They're big, hearty portions you can count on all day, every day. Like the Angus chopped sirloin or the delicious bruschetta chicken. The 99 Restaurant is proud sponsor of the Cape Cod Baseball League.
Well, YD gets 2 runs in the top of the third. It is now 3-2 Gatemen. Jeremy Null back out there for his third inning of work. He will face Willie Schwanke, Chris Chinea, and Cole Stancil. Schwanke struck out swinging back in the first. First pitch is foul back out of play. He struck out with Trevor Podratz on third base. Podratz doubled and then advanced to third on the balk. Chinea waits on deck. First pitch to Schwanke, outside corner, 0-2.
Schwanke was the only Gateman not to come to the plate last inning.
Yeah, Schwanke, as I mentioned, was off to a good start. And then kind of cooled off and then picked it up again. Pitches in the dirt, 1-2. And then now he's kind of cooled off a little bit. He needs to really step it up to be another reliable hitter for Wareham because they need his bat.
They need anyone's bat at this point. But we're seeing, those first signs of life with the 3-run second inning.
1-2, swing and a miss, and it's strike 3. Second strikeout for Schwanke. It is number 3 for Jeremy Null, and there's 1 away here in the bottom of the third, and that'll bring up Chris Chinea, singled and scored in the second. So 1 out, 3-2 Wareham. First pitch swing, it's a strike. 0-1 now to Chris Chinea, the catcher from LSU. And I just thought of this, I don't know why I didn't think about it earlier. Kurt McCune on the mound from LSU. Pitch breaking ball in there, strike 2, 0-2 to Chinea.
Both of these teams, from a pitching perspective, throw a lot of strikeouts. Wareham second most in the league with 115. YD next in line with 112.
0-2 pitch to second. That is Perigine on the ground out. It's a 4-3 ground out, and there's 2 away in the bottom of the third. That'll bring up Cole Stancil, struck out in the second inning.
So far, this is just the type of inning that Jeremy Null needs. He was at 54 pitches through 2 innings, and YD has had trouble getting long starts from those guys that come out and take the bump to start the game. And right now, if he can get another quick inning and maybe another one and just get things under control, he can give them 5 or 6 innings.
Here's Stancil with 2 outs. First pitch is high, 1-0. On deck is Matt Walsh. He singled and scored. 1-0 to Stancil into center field. That'll fall for a base hit. 2-out base knock for Stancil. He's on for the first time tonight. First time of the inning.
Designated hitter number 23, Matt Walsh.
Up comes another guy with a hit tonight. Matt Walsh laced that one down the right field line. Same exact spot where Trevor Podratz hit his first inning double. And that really just helped get what Chris Chinea started in the second inning. It helped prolong that second hit of the inning for Walsh.
That's the 5th hit of the night for Wareham. And Null's first pitch is breaking ball in there for a strike. Both
wins for Wareham this summer have come at home. And against the Eastern Division, the Gatemen are 1-5.
That win coming against Brewster. Pitch, swing and a miss. 0-2 the count to Walsh.
YD, meanwhile, has only played 4 games against Western Division opponents. The other 11 have all been against the East.
Now, well, of course, this is the first time Wareham is facing YD. 0-2 the count on Matt Walsh with 2 outs. The 0-2 from Null. Low in the zone, 1-2. Wind blowing out toward left field now. Ethan Gross waits on deck. 1-2 pitch from Jeremy Null, runners off, and fouling it back to the backstop is Matt Walsh.
Hindsight is 20/20 there, and I think the hit and run was on, but Stansel got a great jump there. From this angle, it looked like he would have been in pretty easily there if Walsh had not swung. And again, with 2 strikes, can't leave anything to chance when you're the batter.
So 1-2 the count. Walsh taps the batter on the plate. Null has his pitch, kicks and fires. Swing and a miss, strike 3. So the Stansel single goes to waste. First strikeout of the game for Matt Walsh. That's number 4 for Jeremy Null. And after 3 full, 3-2 Wareham on the Cape Cod Baseball League Network. We'll be right back for the top of the 4th at Spillane Field. It is now time for the top of the 4th at Spillane Field. Kurt McCune back out there. It's a 3-2 game. Wareham in the lead. And McCune will face Matt Honchel, the left fielder. Honchel walked in the 2nd inning. Pitch from McCune is in there, called strike on the inside corner. 0-1.
Through 3 innings, just 52 pitches for Kurt McCune. Ran into some trouble in the 3rd.
0-1 the count, and the pitch to Honchel is in there, called strike. 0-2. We are very fortunate to have Allie Raisman joining us here on the Wareham Gatemen broadcast. Welcome to our...
Well, thank you.
I guess is what you call it.
Thanks for joining us.
Of course.
0-2 pitch to Honchel is high. 1-2 the count. So Allie, tell us, what's been your favorite part about your night here at Spillane so far?
I'd have to say meeting all the players. They're all very, very nice, and watching the game, they're all very talented and really amazing.
We saw you doing some handstands with Fred Shepard.
Oh, no, I didn't do any handstands. I said I'd do the contest
he
after.
Was doing it,
He was showing off a little bit. So we're going to do a handstand contest after the game. And that'll be really embarrassing if I lose.
Well, Fred's a pretty talented guy.
He was a gymnast before, so you never know.
2-2 count to Honchel. McCune kicks. Here's his pitch. Grounder to second. Stansel is up with it. Throws on to first. And a nice stretch from Trevor Podratz to 4-3 putout. And now there's one away here in the top of the 4th.
So throwing out the first pitch, what was that experience like?
I mean, I practice a lot, of course. I mean, I was, right when I got here, I was practicing. But, I mean, obviously a little nervous because everyone's watching you. And I'm a gymnast, so I'm not a pitcher, so I have absolutely no idea what I'm doing. But whatever.
How do you think it went?
I was a little disappointed in myself. It wasn't as good as I could have done it, but whatever.
Here's Cole Persian. First pitch in there, called strike. So what are you doing now, since you're not? This, I guess right now you'd be getting ready to go to London as you were last year.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. Yesterday marks the year that we made the Olympic team, so a lot has changed in a year. So it's been the most amazing year. It's been really exciting, very surreal, but this is the first time I can be in Cape Cod for a full week, so I'm so excited, so happy to be here with my family and friends.
1-2 in the dirt, nice stop by Chinea, 2-1.
What else are you looking forward to about being on the Cape this week?
I just like relaxing. Tomorrow's supposed to be a beautiful day, so enjoying the 4th and just laying on the beach, getting tan, just being relaxed, not having to really worry about anything. I'm excited.
2-1 pitch from McCune. Chopped to first. That will go foul over by the first base coaching box.
You said a lot's changed in a year, and obviously that's the case, but what's been the biggest change maybe for you?
I mean, it's just everything. Even tonight is very surreal, you know, just sitting up here with my parents and my friends, and everyone's like chanting for me to come down and sign autographs and take pictures. So it's really crazy. I mean, the Olympics were a full year ago, and people still recognize me and know who I am. So it's really honoring and really humbling. So it's very cool.
Cole Persian hit by a pitch. He's now on with one out. That'll go to the top of the order. T.J. White, the shortstop. Full count on Persian, actually. He was not hit by the pitch. Looked like he might have got his foot.
Very close. Bounced in there by McCune.
Now he's on first.
Just jumped the gun by a pitch. We're okay.
We're still learning too.
From UNLV.
Bring up Taylor White, the shortstop from UNLV.
So have you had a chance to go to Fenway and do this whole deal, but
I did.
on a bigger scale?
I threw out the first pitch basically right when I got back from England, and I threw it out with 3 other girls, so it wasn't that intimidating. But they honored all the Olympic athletes from Massachusetts, so it was really cool, and it was exciting, but we were all nervous. I threw it better there than I did tonight.
It's fouled off to the right, out of play. I'll actually be in London starting in, what is it? I think it's end of February next year. I'll actually be interning for the Sochi Olympics.
Okay.
And then I'll be in London. Anything I should do while I'm there?
I mean, to be honest, the really only thing I saw was the Olympic Village. That was pretty awesome. But I mean, you're going to be interning for the Winter Olympics. You won't be in Sochi?
I won't be in Sochi.
Oh, I'm hoping to be there. I want to go there to watch the Olympics. It's very exciting to see the commercials already.
One is high, 1-1 to T.J. White. Outfield pretty much straight away. Lights on. Nice night, of course. Did you know if you were going to come here because of the threat of the rain, or did you?
No, I was always going to come. I mean, I knew it was supposed to rain maybe, but it's a beautiful night out, so it's all good.
Got him with the pickoff at first.
Well, we always talk about how Wareham's pretty good with the pickoff. We usually see it with the lefties, but there you see it with the righty McCune. Now there's 2 outs and a 1-1 count on T.J. White. Three-2 Wareham. McCune's 1-1. Laced foul into the stands. It was actually stopped by that screen right there. Thank God there's no YD broadcast tonight.
Yeah, the broadcasters for the away team are in a pretty dangerous position typically.
You see a couple balls rip right off that pole.
A little more dangerous than where we are. Safe and sound in the press box.
Outside corner. It's a ball. Pretty good pitch there for McCune. Tried to target that outside corner, just missed. Let's talk a little bit about Dancing with the Stars. Tell us something that maybe you haven't talked about yet, because I'm sure you've been asked that many times.
Let me think. It was just so much fun. I loved it because it was a challenge. It was so out of my comfort zone, unlike anything I've ever done before. And, you know, coming from being a serious gymnast that everyone saw was so serious and intense to letting loose and having fun and showing a different side to me was really cool, and I'm really glad I got to do that.
Do you think a lot of the same skills translated?
Oh, not at all. It was so different. I mean, gymnastics, you're out there by yourself. It's more tumbling. I was more a tumbler. I wasn't a dancer. I'm not very graceful. I'm more powerful. So going into that and doing dances like rumba, which is like really soft, and I've never had to be really, you know, sexy when you're dancing. So it was really different, and it was a challenge at first, but Mark was really helpful, and he was really great.
McCune checks on T.J. White, who just hit a hard hit single into left center field. So now there's a runner on with 2 outs. And that McCune pickoff of Persian. Boy, it's not first and second. Thank God for Wareham. Pitch that one's in the dirt. Shania tried to stop it, but moving up to second base is T.J. White. Now a runner in scoring position. And the tying run is at second base. Terry Thompson will trot on out and have a word with Chris Chania and Kurt McCune.
So were you a big Red Sox fan growing up?
Yes, I used to go to the games all the time when I was little with my dad. That was kind of like our way of bonding. I'm a huge Boston sports fan, so I love going to the baseball games, the Celtics, the Bruins, and the Patriots games. I love them all.
Austin and I are both Bruins fans. What did you think of that tough
I was
loss?
at Game 6. It was
no.
heartbreaking, and even I was at the game where Campbell hurt his leg too, and I was like getting so emotional because as an athlete, you can totally relate. You know, when I just thought what he did was like so amazing and so heroic. You know, he was willing to sacrifice himself for his team. He wanted to win more than anything else in the world, and as a coach, that's what you teach your athletes. So I thought, you know, they're amazing, and they definitely represent everything that Boston Strong is.
One and one the count to Eric Falia. Walked in the first, grounded out to second in the third inning. One pitch from McCune that's taken by himself. It was a hard hit chopper, and he will take it himself. Wow, quite a play there by Kurt McCune, and that'll end the inning. Still 3-2 Gatemen. Once again, we want to thank Allie Racer for joining us here in the Wareham Gatemen booth. We'll be right back for the bottom of the fourth here at Spillane Field.
Reebok is an official sponsor of the Kickshot Baseball.
Ethan Gross will lead off the bottom of the fourth inning. We want to thank Allie Racer one more time for joining us in the top of the fourth. 3-2 Gatemen. Jeremy Null back out there.
Not every day you get to
talk
with an Olympic champion. But we were talking with her during the break. It's just a whole different life for her.
Yeah. 1-0 chop to short, that is White. So a 6-3 ground out for Ethan Gross. He's now 1 for 2. That'll bring up Adam Toth. Ground into a 4-3 fielder's choice his last time up.
Keeping an eye on Null's pitch count. Was at 68 coming into this inning. We're only in the bottom of the fourth. Little action out there in the YD pen.
Showing bunt, dropping it down is Toth. It will roll foul. Charging at third was Alex Blandino.
It's interesting. There's no white chalk up and down.
Yeah, it's
because
the line of the grass is considered part of the foul line.
Right.
Yeah.
And so you look at it and you're used to thinking halfway between the halfway in between the third baseline would be fair or foul,
yeah.
but right there it's the grass. It's very interesting and kind of disorienting if you look quickly.
Well, I think I don't know exactly how many fields we've been to in the Cape League, but I think this is the only one with kind of it's a different style of dirt on the infield. Of course, home and the mound is just that brownish, tannish dirt, but
it's essentially gravel.
Yeah, exactly. 0-2 the count to Toth. Cole Sturgeon waits on deck. Pitch high, 1-2. One-two to Toth. That will be a flare single into right center. So one out hit for Adam Toth in the Gateman. Oh, he's going to go to second, and he's in. Oh, Adam Toth using the wheels right there. I thought it was just a regular kind of routine single. That's more like a routine double right there.
That ball was hit pretty hard off the bat. A nice rising line drive there, just driven into the gap, and with Toth's speed, he doesn't need a lot of wiggle room there. I mean, the Falia was on that ball quickly, as was Downs over from center, but he just scampers into second quickly with that double.
So here is Sturgeon. You got a runner in scoring position at second, and Adam Toth, one out, 3-2 Wareham. And the first pitch from Jeremy Null. Dropping down the bunt is Sturgeon. That's a good one. Toth goes to third, and Sturgeon will beat it out. Oh, this is some new Wareham Gatemen baseball we're seeing right now. The Gatemen really putting the bat on the ball and playing well on offense.
Nice to see a bunt single for Cole Sturgeon, and because you know that he's been scuffling at the plate, and sometimes just a little hit like that, even though it's not smacking the ball with a swing there, that might be enough to just stir the drink a little bit for him.
Yeah, so 1 out. You got a runner in scoring position, 90 feet away in Toth, and you got Sturgeon on first. You got speed on the corners. And a guy with speed and a pretty good bat at the plate, and Sean McMullen. Outside and high, 1-0 the count to Sean McMullen from LSU. Flew out to center in the first and walked in the second. No, bluff to third, bluff to first.
The classic move
Yeah, it's
by a
something-
pitcher when there's
I
runners on
think
the
it's-
corner.
I don't think you can do that in the majors anymore.
I believe that's a balk now.
Yeah. John Mayberry is telling us that it is a balk. Thank you, John Mayberry. Bluff to third, bluff to first again.
We have that confirmation now.
This man knows what he's talking about. We might even let him do the out-of-town scores in a little bit. 1-0 the count on McMullen. 1 out, runners at the corners. 3-2 Gatemen. Pitch from Null outside. 2-0 the count. Center fielder Downs just maybe one step or a half a step to right center. Barely. Second baseman Perigine on the line of the infield and the outfield. Guess you can call it gravel and grass, if it is gravel. 2-0 pitch to McMullen. Outside corner, strike one. 2-1.
That's a great spot there from Null. 2-0. You know the hitter's expecting a pitch that he can do something with, but when it's in that great of a location, it's tough for McMullen to do anything at the plate, right on the outer edge.
Someone who we've seen in the number 2 spot lineup, Mikey White. Expected to see him back Friday against Chatham. I talked with him before the game. 2-1 pitch. Low, 3-1. It's a hitter's count. It'll be good to have Mikey White back. It's another very solid bat. It's still a little weird seeing Stancil playing second base and Ethan Gross playing shortstop every day. Of course, White and Gross flip-flop short and second. I think we thought it was going to be every other day, but it looks like every 2 days maybe.
Yeah, I think sometimes it's every other. Sometimes they get 2 each at each spot.
We know they'll be at one or the other. We just don't exactly know where when we get to the field that day. Runner Sturgeon is off, but it's ball 4. So now the bases are loaded for Trevor Podratz. He doubled in the first, flew out to right in the ninth. He's gone opposite ways both times tonight. Wouldn't be surprised to maybe see a shift toward right field. Second walk for McMullen. So now the bases are juiced for the Hawaii first baseman. And the Gatemen already leading 3-2. Spencer Turnbull helping out with the 50-50 raffle.
Turnbull will be the starter tomorrow.
Nose pitch to Podratz into right center. That will fall and roll to Falaire. Scoring is Toth and Sturgeon. Now the Gatemen lead 5-2. RBI single for Trevor Podratz, and the Gatemen now have a 3-run lead.
You know, you couldn't help but feel in this inning and in the last few innings as well that this is the night where the Wareham offense gets on track, starting with that second inning when they were just getting the hits together. 3 hits, 3 runs, and they even left 2 on base. You just started to feel like, okay, it's starting to come together. And then this inning, you're just seeing more of that. It starts off with the Toth double, and he just legs out that second base. Then Sturgeon, a nice bunt single. McMullen draws the walk, and with the bases loaded, you got your number 3 hitter coming up, someone that already has smacked a double in this game. And next thing you know, he drives in too.
Yeah, excellent piece of hitting for Trevor Podratz. Like I said, he might go to right field, and he did. Falia, I thought it had a chance to roll to the wall, but Falia did a good job of cutting it off. He was on his way already toward right center, and now there's a meeting on the mound.
Big one there for Podratz. He's been the lone real power guy in this one as he drives in his 6th and 7th runs of the season.
And that, I believe, will do it for Jeremy Null. We'll have a new pitcher for the YD Red Sox. When we return, 5-2 Gatemen here at Spillane Field. We'll be right back. (5-2) the Gatemen lead. 2 runs already in for Wareham, and there's a new pitcher For the Yarmouth Dennis Red Sox, it is Kevin McAvoy, the right-hander from Bryant, 6'3", 210 pounds. Last season for the Bulldogs, 15 appearances, 15 starts, a 7-3 record, and a 3.83 earned run average. And he comes from Syracuse, New York.
So you're instantly a fan of him is what you're telling me.
Good old Syracuse, New York. He will face Schwanke. McMullen on second, Podratz on first. And the pitch is low, 1-0. Mike's now happy. I have officially sent him the photo we took with Allie Raisin, so he's a happy guy right now. 1-0 the count. Inside, 2-0.
I like to think I'm typically a happy guy.
Me too.
Thanks. Well, glad we cleared that up. The final line on Jeremy Null, 3 1/3 innings, 8 hits, 5 runs, 2 walks, and 4 strikeouts. He now gives away to McAvoy.
5-2 Gatemen in the bottom of the fourth. Pitch, chopper to second, flipping to the shortstop onto first. It's a 4-6-3 double play, but the Gatemen do get 2 runs in the inning and lead at 5-2 here at Spillane Field. We'll be right back for the top of the fifth on the Cape Cod Baseball League Network.
A new season high in runs for the Gatemen. It is 5-2 here as we head to the top of the fifth inning on the Cape Cod Baseball League Network. Here with Austin Pollock, I'm Mike Monaco. And Kurt McCune back out on the bump. He faces Andrew Daniel. First pitch swing, that's laced out to center field right at Cole Sturgeon, who puts it away for out number 1. With 1 away, that will bring up the cleanup hitter, tonight's third baseman, Alex Blandino. He's had a hot start to tonight's action, singled in the first and doubled, and later came around to score in the third inning. Kurt McCune, 72 pitches through 4 innings. Just needed 1 to retire Andrew Daniel, and he bounces in ball 1 to Blandino. McCune so far in this one has surrendered 6 hits, 3 walks. He does have 2 strikeouts and has only surrendered 2 runs. Here's the pitch. Swing and a high fly. That's going to go foul. A lot of distance on that one off the bat of Blandino.
I think there's a lot of offense tonight. It was 8 hits for Wareham, 6 for YD.
That's exactly right. And as we were saying, a new season high in runs for the Gatemen. 5 spot on the board so far here at Spillane Field. Here's the 1-1. That's low and away for ball 2.
Well, I talked with Tucker Simpson before the game, as I typically do. He was telling me he was predicting the outcome of the game. He said 4-2 Wareham wins. Well, 5-2. Sure he'll take that as well.
2-1 on the way. It's low and away for ball 3. Tucker had a lot of fun at Fenway Park yesterday.
We hope to visit with him during our broadcast later in the game, maybe towards around the 7th or the 8th inning. Talk about his new hashtag. You'll hear what that is when he comes to visit.
The 3-1 on the way to Blandino. That's lifted high into the sky. It'll stay on the infield. Backing up is the shortstop, Gross, right at the edge of the outfield grass. He puts it away for out number 2. So with 2 down, up comes Kyle Wood, number 5 hitter in the lineup. Tonight's first baseman. He struck out looking in the first, and then in the third inning had an RBI ground out. 2 runs on the board for the Red Sox so far. 2 down here, and McCune fires home. Off-speed delivery. It's ball 1 outside to Kyle Wood. Wood, a 2-way player from Purdue. We've seen him do both so far this summer for the Red Sox. Here's the 1-0 offering. That's inside, laced down out toward right field, but moving over is McMullen, and he puts it away. A quick 1-2-3 inning for Kurt McCune. He needed a nice quick one there. The Gatemen, after 4.5 here at Spillane Field, are out in front. It's 5-2. You're listening to the Cape Cod Baseball League Network. It's 5-2 as we head to the bottom of the 5th inning. Leading off For Wareham, it's Chris Chinea, the LSU catcher, will face Kevin McAvoy, who's out for his first full inning of work. Jeremy Null got the start, went 3 1/3. And McAvoy came in relief. So it's Chinea to dig in. He's 1 for 2 tonight. Singled in the second and scored. Takes a first pitch fastball. It's strike 1.
Spencer Turnbull in the booth, and I have his elbow pretty much right in my face. Now he's slapping me on the head.
Turnbull helping out with the 50-50 raffle. We'll see him as tomorrow's starting pitcher. The 0-1 is taken by Chinea. It's low and in the dirt for ball 1 to even things up.
At Bourne tomorrow. Like it.
First trip to Doran Park.
Yeah, we've been to Brewster, Orleans, Harwich, but still haven't been to Bourne. What's up with that?
The 1-1 from McAvoy, that's low. 2 balls and 1 strike.
I'm excited to see Doran Park.
McAvoy, when he came in the 4th, only had 1 out, but he got Willie Schwanke to ground into the 4-6-3 double play. Quick work for the right-hander who fires the 2-1. It's in there for strike 2 to Chinea. We've seen Chinea go with a lot of first pitch swinging, or at least just on the second or third pitch of an at-bat. Put the ball in play. He's actually working through this at-bat now. Got his first hit of the season back in the second. Here's the 2-2. Strike 3 called. McAvoy's first strikeout of the night is how we start off the bottom of the 5th inning as Chinea goes down looking.
Yeah, well, Jeremy Null had 4. It's a 5th strikeout for YD pitching, but the strikeout, I mean, we're only through 4 1/3, but it seems like the strikeouts have kind of settled a little bit, nothing too extraordinary.
Stancil, the new batter, he fouls the first pitch down the right field line. McAvoy has made 2 appearances this summer for YD. They were both starts. Not pretty in either one of them, especially the most recent one. Against Brewster back on June 22nd, gave up 9 runs. That one's inside to Cole Stancil. He only went 2 innings in that game, 10 hits, no walks, 2 strikeouts. He gets his 3rd crack at things on the bump here tonight for the Red Sox. Here's the 1-1. That's low and away. 2 balls now to Cole Stancil. Struck out in the second, then singled in the 3rd inning. He was stranded at first. It's an otherwise sharp inning in the 3rd for Jeremy Null. Gatemen leading 5-2. Here's the pitch. Swing laced into the right center field gap by Stancil. That ball will get down. Stancil rounding first. He's thinking 2 all the way. Falia up and throws it into second. Stancil in there with a stand-up double here in the bottom of the 5th.
Boy, Wareham really hitting the ball well. I think it's the 3rd double of the night for the Gatemen already. Toth had 1 in the 4th, and Podretz had 1 in the 1st. I think, is that 3? Am I right?
I believe we have 3 so far tonight.
Wow, and to think that the Gatemen went so long without recording an extra base hit, really coming alive right now.
They only came into tonight's action, as we were saying earlier, 10 extra base hits. Every other team had at least 19, including YD at 33.
This might be the pick-me-up that the Gatemen needed.
Absolutely seems that way thus far, as ball 1 to Matt Walsh is in the dirt. So Stancil aboard at second here with 1 out. McAvoy has the runner in scoring position now. Trying to keep this Wareham lead at 3. The pitch is tapped in front of the plate by Walsh. The catcher, Taylor, will have to throw it down to first. Actually bumped into Walsh there. A little confusion as to whether he tagged him or not, but he threw down anyway. And that's out number 2 here as Stancil moves up to 3rd base.
Well, that's a confusing one.
Did have to complete the throw down, so it's 2-3 there for those of you scoring at home. That brings up Ethan Gross. Had the RBI single in the 2nd inning to break this one open. That one is tipped foul, and it looks like it caught Wayne Taylor on the right hand there. He is in a lot of pain right now. Just kind of has to walk that one off. Got it off the right hand, his throwing hand.
Yeah, even from up here, and with these headsets on, I could still hear the yell from him. That was a loud one. That one hurt.
Coaching staff, the pitcher McAvoy, and the trainer Valerie Saragin out there to just take a look at Wayne Taylor. That one has got to sting. It's like playing pickup basketball and you just
Yeah,
jam your finger catching a pass or something, or going for a rebound. That one is tough to handle.
Just kind of like an unfortunate injury.
Like stubbing your toe.
Those hurt, don't remind me.
Taylor looks to be okay. Rubs that one off. As Peyton Manning would say, rub some dirt on it. Fires it back to McAvoy, and that one was about to get into. Fires a few into the outfield. Keep an eye on him, see if he's okay. It'll be Stancil at third base. 2 outs here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Ethan Gross will be the batter. The count 0-1 on him as Wayne Taylor just takes a few warm-up tosses, trying to make sure the hand is okay. Fires that one back to McAvoy. Sailed the first few into the outfield, but everything looks to be okay right now.
Just a matter of time. Let your hand get used to it.
He signals to his defense, 2 away. That's how it stands. Stancil, the runner at third base. Ethan Gross at the plate. He's 1 for 2 tonight. Contributed in that 2nd inning with the single. And then grounded out to the shortstop, White, back in the 4th. Count 0-1 on him. Outfield straightaway. McAvoy kicks and deals. Strike 2 poured over by McAvoy. Gross has been as steady as can be for this Wareham team. Played in every game. 11 hits in those 15 games. Here's the 0-2 way outside. Taylor, a good job to block it and to keep Stancil at third base. Adam Toth, the 9-man in the lineup, doubled his last time. He's on deck. McAvoy sets at the letters, now fires a breaking ball. Gross stays alive. Did a good job to stay on that one. Didn't swing through it. 1 ball and 2 strikes to the Memphis shortstop.
And notice how Ethan Gross kind of lifts that front leg and holds it up for a while before stepping into a pitch.
McAvoy deals, and that's chopped on the ground. A high bounding ball to the shortstop, White. He's going to have to hurry the throw, and he gets it over to Wood in time. So Stancil is stranded at third base. And after 5 innings here at Spillane Field, the Gatemen are ahead in this one. It's 5-2. You're listening to the Cape Cod Baseball League Network. We'll be right back.
New pitcher for Wareham. It is Trey Killian. That is a wrap for Kurt McCune. 2 runs, not bad. 5 runs, he's in line. He could get a W. So the new pitcher, Killian, will face Downs, Taylor, and Honchel. 6, 7, 8 for YD. So top of the 6th. (5-2) Gatemen. Downs struck out in the 2nd, doubled in the 3rd. First pitch is a swinging strike. 0-1 the count now to Brandon Downs.
Interesting to see Killian coming on in relief. We've seen him make 2 starts this summer. So either he's a bullpen arm now or just getting his bullpen work in between starts.
The 1 pitch is a high cut. 0-2 now.
We saw this happen when Wareham played Chatham in the season opener. Andrew Chin came on in relief of Andrew McGee, and it was really just between starts work for him. It was like having a practice session in the bullpen and just happened to come in a game situation. That does happen with these pitchers.
0-2 pitch. That one's fouled back. Staying alive is Downs. Yeah, but the interesting thing about that is you don't exactly know. That was the first game of the season. You don't know what John Schiffner's plan was for Andrew Chin. Was he going to start? Was he out of the bullpen? Maybe they saw him start. Maybe they saw him relieve and thought he could be a starter.
Yeah, the plan was for him to start. It was just to get him action, before his next start.
0-2 pitch. That one's off the light post. over by the on-deck circle for Wareham.
In any event, the final line on Kurt McCune, 5 innings, 6 hits, 2 runs, 3 walks, and 2 strikeouts on 80 pitches. A nice season debut for Kurt McCune, and he leaves in line for the win in this one.
0-2, swing and a miss, strike 3. First strikeout for Trey Killian. Second time Downs has gone down by way of the K. And 1 out here. That'll bring up Wayne Taylor, the catcher.
You know, that's the Killian we saw on the first start of his summer against Falmouth on the 18th. 6 innings in that game, 9 strikeouts. He was just powering ahead with his fastball.
First pitch is a strike to Wayne Taylor, the catcher. He's 0 for 2.
That looked like the cutter there. We heard that's something he's been working on this summer with some of the other pitchers.
0-1 swing and a miss, and he's throwing heat right now. 0-2. Working fast as well.
Some nasty stuff right now from Killian.
0-2 swing and a miss, strike 3. Second strikeout, back-to-back Ks for Trey Killian.
Man, he is all business out there. I mean, he's pitching like he's angry. And, you know, he has reason to be. His last start against Katuitt didn't go the way he wanted to. 2 2/3, 5 hits, 5 runs, and he got yanked before he made it out of the 3rd inning, and he's pitching like his hair's on fire right now.
First pitch is a ball to Matt Honchel, the left fielder, walked in the 2nd, grounded out to 2nd in the 4th. 1-0 from Killian. Check swing, it's ball 2, 2-0. Two-0 pitch. In there, called strike, 2-1. 2-1, that one's fouled right back to the screen, just to the right of us.
Thank goodness for the plexiglass and the fencing in front of us.
Well, it wasn't even close to this plexiglass. It was just to the right.
I don't think we've had one off the plexiglass exactly so far.
We had one right above it. 2-2, that one was close.
Got one on your side, now one on my side.
2-2 the count, 2 outs, 5-2 Wareham in the top of the 6th. This game feels a little slower. 2-2 to short, Gross, tough hop, throws on to first, got him. Nice play from Ethan Gross at shortstop. A 1-2-3 inning for Trey Killian. After 5.5, 5-2 Gatemen. We will send it down to Hillary Bushway.
Hey guys, as you know, we have Allie Raisman, Olympic gold medalist, here at Spillane Field with us today. Now before the game, Allie was warming up her arm for her first pitch, and right-handed pitcher Fred Shepard came right up to her and asked her for a handstand competition. Now to be honest, Allie looked a little bit nervous and postponed this competition until after the game. So we'll have coverage of the handstand competition if it happens, and it will air on next week's episode of Wareham Gatemen Around the Horn. It'll air Tuesday at 4:30. We also want to remind you that on Saturday we'll have Wally the Green Monster here at Spillane for autographs and pictures. I'll send it back up to Mike and Austin. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Hillary. We'll be right back here at Spillane Field. So new catcher for the Yarmouth Dennis Red Sox. It is Taylor Gashu. He takes the place of Wayne Taylor. Looks like Taylor might have left with that apparent hand injury. There's Adam Toth dropping down a bunt, and it's foul. 0-1 to the Baylor left fielder, Adam Toth. Doubled and scored in the 4th, grounded into a 4-3 fielder's choice in the 2nd. He bats as the number 9 hitter here in the 6th. Pitch is outside.
McAvoy only needed 19 pitches through that inning and 2/3 of work. Of course, he got 2 of those outs in the 4th inning on just that one double play ball.
Yeah, 1-1 the count. To Toth, swing and a miss, 1-2. Outfield straight away. 1-2 for McAvoy. Outside, 2-2. Cole Sturgeon waits on deck. Had that bunt single and then came around to score in the fourth. 2-2 to Toth. Called strike three over the outside corner. Nice pitch from Kevin McAvoy, and it's the first time that Adam Toth is struck out. And there's one out here in the bottom of the sixth that'll bring up Sturgeon.
Just a tremendous location there on the outer edge from McAvoy. Get you some out-of-town scores right now in a game that's gone final at Lowell Park. Katuitt another win, 8-2 against Brewster. At McKeon Park, Hyannis 4-2 over Harwich.
Pitch into center, coming in and making the catches, Brandon Downs, but allowed out number 2 for Cole Sturgeon.
Hit that one right on the screws, but right at Downs.
And that'll bring up Sean McMullen, flew out to center in the first and walked in the second, walked in the fourth. Para base on balls.
Back to the out-of-town scoreboard. Hyannis got the win, as we were saying, as did Katuitt. In the top of the seventh, Orleans up 11-4 on Falmouth. In the bottom of the sixth, Chatham up 5-4 on Bourne. And here we are, bottom six.
Pitch is low and inside, 1-0 to Sean McMullen. Really? You weren't going to let John Mayberry do the out-of-town scores?
Oh, yeah, I completely forgot, John. I apologize.
Well, you're a good friend.
This isn't the Sunday night broadcast, though.
Pitch opposite field to left, coming in, and it'll fall in front of left fielder Matt Honchel. So 2 out single. It's the third time that McMullen's been aboard. It's the first hit for him. Here's Trevor Podratz. He has had himself quite a night. He's doubled in the first, flew out to right in the second, and singled in the fourth.
This top of the lineup has been swinging the bat well. Sturgeon had the line drive out to center field. McMullen's been aboard 3 times. Podratz has a pair of hits tonight. Look no further than 1, 2, 3 for your offensive production.
Podratz with a big swing and a miss. 0-1 the count.
Podratz was swinging for the fences there. He was one of 3 players on this Wareham team yesterday at Fenway Park to blast a home run over the Green Monster. The others being Chris Chinea and Matt Walsh.
5-2 Wareham in the bottom of the sixth. The 0-1. Chopper charging is McAvoy, has it on to first for out number 3. Still 5-2 Gatemen as we head for the top of the 7th inning here at Spillane Field. You're listening to the Cape Cod Baseball League Network. We will be right back. Top of the 7th there at Spillane Field, 5-2 Gatemen. Perigine, the second baseman, will now bat. He's been on base twice, single in the second, walked in the fourth.
How about that first inning of work for Trey Killian out in the 6th inning? I mean, he was all dynamite.
First pitch to Perigine is and they're called strike. Perigine. I predicted I was going to have a problem with that tonight, and I have. Actually, that was the first time, I think. 0-1 to Perigine. Outside corner, 1-1. I get it right that time?
Perigine.
Perigine.
Like a pair of jeans.
Well, I like that one. 1-1 from Killian. In the dirt, and I stopped by Chinea. 2-1. Killian with a long look in. Kicks, and here's his 2-1 to Perigine. Swing and a miss, 2-2. Perigine maybe didn't like his swing. He's going to practice it immediately after the pitch. 2-2 to Perigine. Checking his swing. They'll check with third base umpire Joseph Peters. He rings him up for out number 1. That is the third strikeout for Trey Killian. And that's how they get things going here. In the top of the 7th inning, that'll back to the top of the order we go. TJ White, the shortstop from UNLV.
And this is just exactly the Trey Killian we saw against Falmouth, and then some. I mean, three strikeouts and 4 batters. Dan making a cameo up here.
I'm confused. 0-1 swing and a miss. 0-2 to TJ White.
We could hear PA announcer Dan Dias in our ear. I don't believe the listeners at home could. Well, this is disorienting. You guys
how is
cannot
this
hear
happening?
him.
0-2. That one's sliced foul off to the right. Oh, I think he's using Hillary's microphone. Oh, 2, that one's off to the right, out of play. Oh, 2 to TJ White from Trey Killian with one away. Swing and a miss at a pitch high. That's the back-to-back Ks, 4th for Killian.
Man, he is just rolling right now. I mean, we were mentioning earlier about how Jeremy Null against Chatham in his last start struck out the first 5 batters of the game. Well, and the work right now that Killian is doing is very similar. 4 strikeouts in 5 batters faced.
Now, I saw this maybe shadow something, I don't know, behind me, and I turn around. It's Tucker Simpson. Well, now I don't know where. Oh, now he's outside. Pitches a called strike to Eric Falia. He doesn't have a hit tonight, but he walked in the first. That one's foul, back and out of play. 0-2 the count. Oh, and 2 the count to Eric Falia. Killian looks in, kicks, and the pitch. Outside, 1-2.
Killian looking for back-to-back 1, 2, 3 innings. He's out there just pumping in strikes.
1-2 the count to Falia. That one's fouled over by the middle school. One and 2 the count to Eric Falia. Back-to-back strikeouts for Trey Killian. He's looked much better so far in these 2 innings of relief. That one's fouled off to the left, out of play again. I think we will have Tucker Simpson on for the bottom of the 7th. Not I think, we will. Came all the way in from the bullpen. Talk about his new hashtag. 1-2 pitch from Killian. Into right field. That will fall in front of McMullen, a base hit. So that is the second time that Falia's been on. Singles to his counterpart, McMullen.
Falia is just a fun player to watch. He was tearing it up in Omaha at the College World Series. In the series clinching win against Mississippi State, he drove in 5 runs. And in game 1 of that series, he drove in another 2 runs. He had 2 hits in each of those games. He's an exciting player.
Here's Andrew Daniel. Popped up on the infield. Moving back is Stancil. Calls everybody off. Makes the catch on the outfield grass for out number 3. But a pretty good inning. 2 strikeouts for Trey Killian. The Gatemen lead it. And it's time for the 7th inning stretch here at Spillane Field. Again, Wareham leads it 5-2 on the Cape Cod Baseball League Network. New pitcher for the Yarmouth Dennis Red Sox from Hofstra, 6'2", 195 pounds, a right-hander, Nick Kozlowski. He's from Huntington Station, New York. And he will face Willie Schwanke to get things rolling here in the bottom of the 7th, 5-2 Gatemen here at Spillane Field. And we have another special guest here. It is Tucker Simpson.
It's not every game we get two guests in the booth.
I know. He's been having some fun on Twitter in the last 24, 48 hours. Talking about his new hashtag. What do you got to say about that one?
It's just something I was messing around with on Twitter the other day. I knew we were going to Fenway, and like I was saying, I knew we were going to Fenway, and I grew up a big Manny Ramirez fan. And I was cutting up with y'all on Twitter saying, I was going to do my best Manny impersonation out there off the wall, cutting the ball from center field, that sort of stuff. I was trying to use the bathroom in the Monster. They didn't let that happen, but it was just something I was messing around with on Twitter, and I was, trying to get it trending, but I don't think I quite got there with Tuck being Tuck.
Well, there was Manny being Manny, and yesterday we had Tuck being Tuck. Maybe it'll catch on this summer. Who knows?
Yeah, that'd be sweet.
Everybody listening, start using the hashtag #TuckBeingTuck. See if we can get it moving. 2-2 the count on Schwanke. That one goes all the way to the backstop.
So, Tucker, have you been in the bullpen tonight or in the dugout at all?
I've been down the bullpen just hanging out, telling a couple stories, messing around with some of the guys. Me and Dylan Ortman were down there cutting up, telling jokes back and forth about the good old days when we were younger playing travel ball back in Alabama.
Well, you also told me before the game you were predicting a 4-2 Gatemen win.
I was, yeah. I had a good feeling about it going in. I actually told Coach Maxwell that too. I said, Coach, I was like, I got a good feeling today. I was like, we're going to turn it around. 4-2 is what I called.
Did he have a prediction?
He, I want to say he took, I think he said 5-0. He said we were going to come out with an outburst offensively, but I got our score right. He got the other team's score right.
Schwanke just grounded out to the second baseman Peragine for out number 1. We're going to bring out Chris Chinea. Singled and scored in the second, grounded out to second in the third, and struck out looking in the fifth. Well, the offense has definitely looked much better tonight.
I know. He's turning around, right? It's been like a laser show out there in the bullpen just constantly.
Pitch to Chinea as a ball inside.
So is there a completely different vibe out there in the bullpen when the team's out in front and the offense is rolling?
Definitely just more of a comfort factor more than anything. I know Ryan Riga he's always cutting up every time we get a hit. He's always calling it the offensive powerhouse. So.
We saw Riga make a nice play out there in the outfield at Fenway yesterday.
That's right. Yeah, he got lucky. He made a little slide and grab out there. He was cutting up with Fred. Told Fred not to wash his pants because he had the grass stain from Fenway.
2-0 the count on Chinea. That one's high, 3-0.
The pitchers get gypped a little bit, it seems, when they go to Fenway Park for the workout.
That's right. Yeah, I was hoping to get a swing, take one over the Monster, but they didn't. They didn't quite allow me to get in there and take some hacks.
Ball 4-pitch walk for Nick Kozlowski, who's the new pitcher for YD, and Chinea's on with a 4-pitch walk. That'll bring up Cole Stansel. He's had himself quite a night. Struck out swinging in the second, singled in the third, and doubled in the fifth. So I know, like in the majors, there's kind of quite a bond, I guess, a good chemistry with the guys in the bullpen.
Right.
Is that kind of like how it is here too? I mean,
For
everyone
sure,
comes from all different parts of the country.
Right. Yeah, it's constantly down there. Everybody's always telling stories about how back in high school, how they were the legend and all this kind of stuff. We hear all kinds of stories from, random nights to, what they did in high school ball, just all kinds of stuff you would never even, think about hearing.
Who do you think tells the tallest tales out there?
Oh, Ryan Riga for sure. Riga, he's a clown. He's a clown.
Expect.
But the best part is when Riga's done telling a story, he'll tell you a story, and everybody in the bullpen sitting there with their mouth wide open. And as soon as he's done, he'll be like, guys, I just made the whole story up.
0-2 to Stansel. Set up on the outside corner. It's 2-2. Sorry, 1-2.
So, Tucker, we were talking about this before the game. You're another big pitcher out there, 6'6". I believe that's what you're at least listed at.
Right.
And Kyle Cody, who was here earlier in the summer, 6'7". You guys had some good basketball battles.
That's right. Yeah, we went to the Y around here. There'd be probably 8 or 10 of us go, and we just mess around in there. Cody would always give me a hard time, trying to post me up inside, but I have to turn a couple threes in his face.
Who on the team is the best basketball player? And you can't say yourself.
Into deep left center, going back is Downs. That one will bang off the wall. Headed toward third is Chinea. He is rounding third, headed for home. Cut off in the throw. He's in there. It's now a 6-2 lead for the Gatemen.
How about the night for Cole Stansel? His second double.
And Stansel's been good, and I think he wants to be our player of the game again. Right now, he's looking like it. So he's now 3 for 4. What a night for the second baseman from St. Leo.
There's a lot of guys to choose from for tonight's player of the game. If any of our listeners or viewers out there want to chime in, you can tweet us at Wareham Gatemen or send us an email, gatemenbroadcasting@gmail.com. Chime in with who you think should be tonight's player of the game.
Who's your vote?
I'll take Cole Stencil. I'd definitely give him the front runner right now.
Right now, looks pretty good. 6-2 lead for Wareham. Swinging a big cut by Matt Walsh.
Unless Walshy can put one in the bleachers out there, I believe Cole's got it tonight.
Oh, 1 the count to Walsh. Stancil on second. Shania in on the RBI double. Pitch is outside. 1-1 from Kozlowski.
So anyway, back to the question: who's the best basketball player?
Oh, for sure, Dalton Brown. Dalton Brown.
Really?
It's unreal. I don't know. Like you look at him, he's a big guy, but somehow he just finesse with the left hand. I don't understand it. Nobody can guard him out there. But he's always telling stories in the pen about how he was Mr. All-State in basketball. So we told him he wasn't that good, and then he proved us wrong.
A post presence or a shooter like you?
A little bit of both. He's famous for being at the top of the key. He'll catch a ball, and he'll act like he's about to shoot a three, and he'll just finesse with the left hand right off the backboard.
You ever thought about joining Billy Donovan's squad?
I actually thought about it, but they don't need my help. They're more talented than I could ever even think about being.
Three and 1 the count to Walsh with 1 out. 6-2 Gatemen. Pitch, chopped foul. Where to get it is Ethan Gross.
Got another connection on this team to Florida on the YD side, the catcher tonight.
Right.
What can you tell us about Taylor Gushu?
Oh, Gushy is a great kid. He was probably my favorite guy on the entire team. His dad is a chaplain in the Cardinals organization, so he comes from a really great family. They were always, they always spoke to me when we were on the road. They always, asked me if I needed anything, but they were great people. He's a great guy, and I was talking to him for the game, and he's one of my best friends.
Nice when there's a good group of teammates you already know up here. Saw Richie Martin Jr. in from Falmouth. Bobby Pointer, who you started against on Sunday against Orleans.
Yeah, you came up to me after the game against Falmouth and said, I heard you talking about the shoes.
Oh,
blue
yeah.
cleats and his blue cleats as Matt Walsh draws a walk. So first and second with 1 out here. Second time he's been on tonight. That brings up Ethan Gross. Singled and scored in the second and grounded out to shortstop in the fourth and fifth. Pair of groundouts. It's going to be a meeting on the mound. Cooper Ferris will walk over from his third base coaching box and chatted up with Richard Emerson. Is there a favorite, I guess, maybe coach or someone who's maybe you wouldn't expect to have some sort of sense of humor? One of the coaches?
Coach Maxwell. Yeah, he's always
like
always
the logical
going.
choice.
That's right. Yeah, he always keeps everybody laughing in the dugout. He's really outgoing, especially in the mornings when we're out here doing field work. He's always that New England accent. I still can't understand him, but the few words I do get, he's pretty funny.
Gatemen will have a pinch runner here for Matt Walsh, who just drew the walk. Brock Stewart will come on to run for the Franklin Pierce designated hitter.
Gift certificate, ticket 458655. For the Friendlies gift certificate, ticket 729651.
Again, we have Tucker Simpson
Family Pass, ticket
here in the broadcast booth. 6-2 Gatemen. Got a runner on first and second with 1 out. A new pitcher for YD, and the pinch runner, of course, Brock Stewart.
The night is done for Nick Kozlowski, the sophomore from Hofstra. Recorded 1 out, gave up a hit, a run, had 2 walks, no strikeouts, and threw 21 pitches. Now he gives way out there. He was the third pitcher of the night for the Red Sox.
For the Jacks or Wild gift certificate, ticket
An interesting delivery,
458
kind of like a
406.
Jung Jung Kim,
For
maybe.
PC Network guys gift certificate, ticket 458 5.
Still trying to get a name on him though.
And we will continue at the conclusion of this half inning.
I believe that's number 41, John Danielczyk. Sophomore right-hander from Pittsburgh. 6'4", 200 pounds, making his 5th appearance of the summer. Quite the windup out there.
Now pitching number 41, Jonathan Danielson.
We saw
Pittsburgh.
a similar approach in the game on Sunday from Trevor Kelly, the right-handed pitcher from UNC from Orleans. He kind of started his motion by going to third base initially and then throwing from a lower arm slot. This, though, from Danielczyk is even completely different. It's more submarine, like you were saying, Austin.
Like a Byung-Yun Kim or like maybe a Mike Myers. He faces Ethan Gross. Not Mike Myers, the actor. First pitch to Gross, outside corner, good pitch. 0-1.
Still a pretty good crowd here at Spillane tonight, and we said it earlier in the game, the weather held off nicely. Seems like every game now there's a 50% chance of rain and thunderstorms.
0-1 the count to Ethan Gross. Outside corner again, another good pitch, 0-2. Tucker, is there something so far about the season, being on the Cape, that you're maybe not enjoying? Maybe the rain?
The one thing that I noticed that was a little weird up here was, down in Florida, obviously there's a lot of, beach and pool time. And, you're hanging out all the time. Like, you never think anything of the sun. But up here I was hanging out with Riga and a couple of guys at the pool. And we were out there for maybe 30 minutes. And I came back the next day and it was just completely red. So I don't know what it is. Our trainer here, Kevin, he was telling me the ozone layer is not quite as thick up here.
1-2 to Gross. Outside corner called strike 3. First strikeout for Danielczyk. That's out number 2.
Left fielder number 3, Adam Toth from Baylor.
That brings up Adam Toth. Doubled and scored in the 4th. Grounded to a 4-3 fielder's choice in the 2nd. Struck out looking in the 6th.
Season high in runs tonight and also 11 hits for the Gatemen offense in this one.
Grounder to 2nd. Had to go a long way. It was Perigine. And makes the play for a 4-3 putout for out number 3. 6-2. The Gatemen get a run in the bottom of the 7th. We head for the top of the 8th here at Spillane Field. Thanks again, Tucker Simpson, for joining us here in the booth. Again, 6-2 from Spillane. We head for the top of the 8th.
We roll on to the top of the 8th inning here at Spillane Field. Gatemen out in front. It's 6-2. Trey Killian back on the mound for his 3rd inning of work tonight. Came on in relief of Kurt McCune, who made his season debut this summer, worked 5 strong innings, gave up 2 runs through 80 pitches as Killian starts off the 8th inning. That pitch is fouled back by the cleanup hitter, Alex Blandino. The count 0-1 on the Stanford third baseman. He's had a good night tonight, 2 for 3. Doubled and scored in the 3rd inning after a single in the 1st. Killian kicks and deals the 0-1. Blandino waves at that one. It's strike 2. Trey Killian racked up the strikeouts, 2 in each of his 2 innings so far. Gave up a single to Eric Falia in the 7th. That's the only blemish on his relief outing. That one fouled back to the screen. And we will actually have a replacement for Austin Pollock right now. We're just getting everyone up here for these interviews. We're joined now by Hillary Bushway.
Hi, Mike. How you doing?
It's good. Good to have some new blood up here.
Fresh face.
That one,
good to be here.
That one popped up in front of the plate. Shania throws off the mask and makes the play. That's out number 1 here in the top of the 8th. How does it feel to be up here instead of out on the field?
I like this. I like this a lot. I didn't realize that with this headset, you really can't hear what's going on around you.
Yeah. What's the headset like?
It's a little heavy, but I like it. I can really hear myself.
Yeah. hearing yourself and nothing. You can't really hear what's going on behind you.
Yeah, I'm sure I'm getting a lot of looks back there, but can't hear a thing.
Never know what Austin's up to over there.
No, actually, here's a funny story about Austin. He's trying
Speaking
to make
of not knowing what's going on,
Yeah.
I think this is the story you're going to tell.
Exactly. Austin tried to impersonate me and decided to, use the mic that I use, and he actually had it upside down.
That one's driven out to right field off the bat of Wood. It bounces off the wall out there. Wood rounding first, heading to second. He's in there with a stand-up one-out double. So as you were saying with your story.
Well, basically, Austin tried to make fun of me and totally ended up making fun of himself, holding the mic upside down, not even knowing what end of the mic is right.
Austin, truly one of a kind, we would
Yeah.
probably have to say.
He had some character. He definitely had some character up here.
Can't really see what he's doing over there, but know he's up to something.
He's plotting something.
Anyway, with one out, the runner at second is Wood. Brandon Downs at the plate. He is 1 for 3 tonight. He digs in against Killian. 6-2 the score here, top of the 8th inning. So you think you could get used to sitting up here and not being out there?
Yeah, I think so. This is nice. I get to sit down.
You don't have to worry about the weather either.
Nope. Nothing.
We know our producer, Warren Randolph, has been really worried about the rain recently. Changing up the cameras and everything.
Yeah, he had to move camera 3, my usual spot.
Even manager Cooper Ferris noticed that. The 1-1 pitch from Killian, that's fouled off to the right side by Downs.
Trey Killian's quite a character. I was doing some interviews before the game, and he photobombed 2 of them, started dancing in the background of our interview. It was pretty funny.
In one of, I forget exactly which interview it was of yours earlier in the season, Tucker Simpson was photobombing you.
Yes. Yeah.
He's quite a character as well.
You know what? I don't mind the photobomb as long as it's not in front of me. That just, that'll distract me and lose my train of thought.
The 1-2 grounded to Schwanke at third. He looks back, the runner throws on to first for the second out of the inning. Wood stays put at second. How hard is it to not lose your train of thought when you're out there?
It's actually not. At first I had a hard time with it, but it's not so bad. Just look at the camera and try to avoid other things around you.
Unfortunately,
Can be tough.
we couldn't hear your first inning interview.
I know, I heard.
Or your third inning interview, rather.
Technical difficulties up here.
We'll blame those on Austin.
No problem.
2 outs.
When in doubt, blame it on
Exactly.
Austin.
Don't know where he went. He's taking the rest of the night off, it seems. Top of the 8th inning here at Spillane. 6-2 the score. Runner at second is Kyle Wood at the plate. Wayne Taylor is placed in the lineup. It's Taylor Gushu. Fouls that one back. Chinea giving chase. Gets out of play. Evens it up at 1-1 to Gushu. So have you had trouble pronouncing any of the players' names? Because Austin and I struggled with this a lot early on.
You know what? It's weird. The one I have the most trouble with is like the simplest one, Adam Toth. It was like when, for some reason, I just couldn't get it right. But
yeah,
for the most
we struggled
part,
with
it's not
that
too
one.
bad. Yeah. Once you remember what one it is, you don't really mess it up. But I think I had to do 2 takes in my interview with him because I mispronounced it twice in a row. I was pretty embarrassed, but they're all pretty good. They'll correct you too. If you say it wrong, they'll correct you, which I'd rather.
Right.
You get embarrassed at first, but you'd rather pronounce it correctly.
2-1 the count on Gushu. Killian kicks and deals, swing and a miss there by the Florida catcher. The count 2-2 here with 2 outs, top of the 8th inning. Joined by Austin's replacement, Hillary Bushway.
Austin's schmoozing over there. No, he's
per,
not.
per usual with him. 2 balls and 2 strikes. The count to the catcher, Gushu. Here's the pitch from Killian. That's driven out toward right field. Coming in is McMullen. He goes to the dive. Can't make the catch. It bounces past him. Coming around to score is Kyle Wood, and Gushu round second, heading for third. He's in there, standing at third base. And the Red Sox tack on another one. It's now 6-3. Wareham leads here in the top of the 8th. That one just got away from McMullen. He came in hard for that one. Went to the dive, but it just snuck under his glove.
Great attempt. You know, that one's a tricky one. Do you let it bounce or do you go right under it?
Yeah, it was right in between, and
it was like at that awkward stage.
Right, if he had let it bounce, well,
would have been
had
a run.
chance.
Yep.
So in any event, Gushue's at third. Wood comes around to score, and up comes the number 8 man Matt Honchel in a 6-3 game. Swing and a miss there at the fastball from Killian. Killian out there for his 3rd inning of relief work tonight in place of Kurt McCune. Pitch there poured over for strike 2. Wareham got 3 in the 2nd, 2 in the 4th, and 1 in the bottom of the 7th. Here we are in the top of the 8th. The 0-2 pitch right around the strike zone, but it's ball 1. Matt Honchel tonight, 2 groundouts and a walk back in the 2nd inning. The runner at third is Gushue. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball there, tapped down the first base line, but that'll roll foul.
I'm interested to see this handstand competition, if it's going to happen or not.
You're going to put your money on a winner?
Between Allie and Fred. Actually, I saw Fred, and he put up a decent attempt. And Allie, she looked a little nervous, to be honest.
She was telling us that she heard that Fred was a gymnast earlier in his childhood, so I think she knows she's in for a competition tonight.
Mm-hmm.
The 1-2 pitch from Killian fouled back to the screen by Honchel.
I guess it depends if they go on, like performance or length, because, she's probably got great form. But Fred, he stood up there for a decent amount of time, so.
Do we know who's judging this?
No, but I'll take that.
Well, you've judged before.
Yeah, the chili contest.
That one's tapped foul by Honchel. The count stays at 1-2. So for those of you that missed our interview earlier with Allie Raisman, there will be a handstand competition between the Olympic champion and left-handed Gatemen pitcher Fred Shepard after the game. So be sure to check into the next episode of Wareham Gatemen Around the Horn and see the winner.
Absolutely.
A little plug for that show.
Yeah, a little spoiler alert.
Yeah. Warren Randolph was working feverishly today to get the newest episode of Around the Horn out. Check it out on YouTube or the Wareham TV website.
Of course, he got it on there on time.
He was working right up to the buzzer.
Yeah.
The 1-2 pitch from Killian, swing and a miss, strike 3. Honchel goes down swinging. Killian leaves Taylor Gushue at third base. The Red Sox, though, get 1 in the inning. It's 6-3 here as we head to the bottom of the 8th inning. The Gatemen out in front. You're listening to the Cape Cod Baseball League Network. 8th inning action coming up here on the Cape Cod Baseball League Network. I'm Mike Monaco, joined to my right once again by Austin Pollock, who rejoins me in the booth. Gatemen are ahead in this one, looking for win number 3 on the summer, and the new pitcher out there for the Red Sox, the 4th YD pitcher tonight, making his season debut. It's James Caprillion, who just arrived after completing his freshman season at UCLA, a pretty remarkable freshman campaign at that. Made 34 appearances out of the bullpen for the Bruins, 40 2/3 innings, and a 1.55 ERA to go along with 53 punch-outs. He's 6'4", 195 pounds, from Tustin, California. Was drafted in the 40th round by the Mariners in 2012. And was number 75 on Baseball America's 2012 draft list. A very highly regarded right-handed arm. He's out for the 8th inning to face the leadoff man here, Cole Sturgeon. Swings at the first pitch, fouls it back to the screen. It's strike 1.
Ricocheted off of one of the bigger poles here and just kind of ran right across the fence. In front of me, that was like a big mouse just running across the fence.
So 0-1 the count here on Sturgeon. Lined out sharply to center field. Last time up in the 6th inning. He takes strike 2. Grooved in there by Caprillion. Replaces John Danielczyk. Came on for 2/3 of an inning of work. He came on in relief of Nick Kozlowski. the fifth pitcher of the night for YD. Swing and a miss there by Sturgeon. He could only reach out at the low and away fastball. So Caprillion starts out his summer with a strikeout here in the bottom of the 8th inning.
Action in the Wareham bullpen. It'll be a save situation.
Wareham leading 6-3 here, home half of the 8th. Now steps up Sean McMullen, fifth time he comes to the plate tonight. That one's in there for strike one. Caprillion starts out with another first pitch strike.
This is the night the Gatemen needed. They really needed good pitching, which they got, and they needed the offense to be there. This could be a spark. Extra base hits, but back to Bourne tomorrow, and Bourne's been pretty good as of late.
The 0-1 just misses the outside edge. The count 1-1 to Sean McMullen. And yeah, Austin, to your point on Bourne, came into tonight's action 7-8. When we saw them last, they were still without a win.
Right. Yeah. And then after the game they lost to Wareham, I think they started to pick it up a little bit.
They worked their way back in the Western Division. Here's the 1-1 pitch from Caprillion. Flared out into center field. Coming on is the center fielder Downs. It falls in front of him. And Sean McMullen has his second hit of the day, the 4th time he's been aboard tonight, to go along with those 2 walks. Quite the day for the number 2 hitter from LSU. He flares that one into center field. And with 1 out, he's aboard. Up comes Trevor Podratz. He doubled back in the first inning, had a 2-run single in the 4th. Part of a 2-for-4 night thus far for the Hawaii first baseman.
Shortstop TJ White also went out there, along with Brandon Downs.
Caprillion will work from the set. The stretch. And fires that one in. It's ball 1 high to Podratz. Coming to the set high there, a little bit underneath the chin. First time he's worked from the stretch tonight. Was just activated to the YD active roster today. He sets and deals. Swing and a miss there as he pulls the string on Podratz, who just waved at that one. 1 ball and 1 strike.
That would be why he wasn't on my roster.
He also is wearing number 31. Believe the typical number for him would be 11 once things get sorted out, but he's getting thrown into the fire a little bit. The UCLA right-hander kicks and deals, coming inside on Podratz. It almost hit him. It did not, though. 2 balls and 1 strike. Podratz, a guy, actually gets hit by a lot of pitches. He was bragging to me earlier this season about how in the past few years he's led his team, Summer League and Hawaii, in hit by pitches. Get on base any way you can. Caprillion sets, checks McMullen at first. A long look. Now he fires home. That's driven on the ground to the right side of the infield. Perugine will throw to first with that one. Moving up to second is McMullen. Podratz retired for the 2nd out of the inning. Ball was hit very softly. That was the only play that Perugine had. And with 2 away, up comes Willie Schwanke. Still looking for his first hit of the ball game. He struck out twice and grounded out a pair of times as well.
Yeah, no question. Schwanke struggled. Again, I still think it's just a matter of time till he gets back on a hitting streak.
Wareham has had quite the offensive outburst tonight, putting 6 runs on the board, 12 hits. They've left runners aboard in every inning tonight. At least 1 in every inning, and 2 runners in the 2nd and the 7th. Here's the pitch to Schwanke. Fastball does not get the outer edge, just missing. It's 1-0. Schwanke came in hitting at an even 250. 0 for 4 tonight. For the cleanup hitter from Arkansas. Grounded out to second his last time up in the 7th. Caprillion checks McMullen, now deals. Inside, and that's not fouled to the screen. It did go all the way back, but Schwanke just swung right over it, and advancing up to third base is Sean McMullen.
I heard somebody say, go, go, go. I don't know whether it was Schwanke or if it was Cooper Ferris, but I heard somebody say, go, go, go. Unless it was somebody from the stands.
Looked Very much like that ball might have been tipped. But Schwanke did not get a piece of it. Richard Emerson certainly did not think so, and I don't think Schwanke and Taylor Gauchu, the catcher, realized it right at the moment, but after a second or so they did, and Gauchu had to hop on that one. Here's the 1-1 offering. That's driven out towards center field. Coming in is Downs. He's on the run and will put it away. And that retires the side here in the home half of the third inning. McMullen is stranded at third base. And after 8 full here at Spillane Field, we will head to the top of the 9th inning. Wareham leading 6-3. We'll see if they can close things out and get win number 3 when we return here on the Cape Cod Baseball League Network. Pinch hitter for the Red Sox is Austin Bosfield. He's batting in place of Cole Perugine, the number 9 man. Killian back out on the bump. With the first pitch, he hits Bosfield. Came up and in with that one, so a runner aboard here for the Red Sox to start off the 9th.
Bosfield is a nice first name. The second time I've used that joke this summer, actually.
Austin Bosfield.
Austin. Good name.
So Austin Bosfield aboard at first, and we turn things back over to the top of the lineup for YD. It's TJ White. Man at first, nobody out. Here's the pitch. That's fouled off the mask of Chinea, strike 1. White tonight, pair of groundouts in the first and second innings. He singled in the 4th and struck out in the 7th inning. This is Trey Killian's 4th inning on the mound for the Gatemen. Here's the pitch, swing and fouled out of play to the right side. 2 strikes on TJ White. Middle infield at double play depth. The outfield fairly straight away. Sturgeon a step or 2 over toward right. Wareham has a 3-run advantage. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball there, that's fouled off. Good job staying alive by TJ White.
This is a game that Wareham, I'm going to say it again, Wareham needed. You needed the offense to have a good game. As you said, the season high in runs. It wasn't like it's gonna be close. I mean, it's a safe situation, but it's not like a 1-run game.
At least now it isn't. That's laced out into right field. McMullen closing fast. He makes the catch on the run. He's going for 2. He can't double off Bosfield, who had to scurry back to first base, but they get 1 out. On the line out to Sean McMullen, who was quick on his toes there to grab that tailing line drive off the bat of White. So that's the first out of the 9th inning. Bosfield remains at first base, and up comes Eric Falia. 1 for 3 with a walk tonight. Last time up in the 7th inning, he singled. Killian from the stretch, he sets, kicks and fires. Falia squares the bunt, he gets it down. Schwanke racing in from third, throws on to first, gets the out, and Ethan Gross, the shortstop, scampering over to third to cover the bag. So Bosfield stays at second base. Great play made there by Schwanke at third, and there's 2 down.
Excellent play by Schwanke, charging in to get that. Right now, you take your outs, not the runs.
With Bosfield at second, 2 down. Reminder to stay with us for the Wareham Wrap postgame show whenever this one concludes here at Spillane Field. First pitch of the at-bat to Andrew Daniel is taken for strike 1.
We'll hear from our co-players of the game.
The pitch from Killian, swing and a miss there. Daniel waved at that one, 2 strikes now, and the Red Sox are down to their final strike in this one.
What a performance by Killian tonight.
The crowd making a little bit of noise here. Here's the 0-2 pitch. High with that one. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Andrew Daniel. Wareham has struggled a bit. 1 win in their last 10. Trying to put that to bed tonight. Here's the pitch, grounded to the third baseman, Schwanke. He boots it a little bit there, throws back to second. They try to get Bosfield, he's back in time. So Daniel reaches first base on the error. And there's runners at first and second with 2 outs, and the tying run comes to the plate for Yarmouth Dennis. Schwanke's been busy over there in this half inning at third base. couldn't handle that one, so Alex Blandino steps in. Popped out in each of his last 2 at-bats after getting hits in his first 2. He goes first pitch swinging, high fly ball into center field. Sturgeon coming in. He calls off Stancil and puts it away. The Gatemen win it 6-3 here at Spillane Field. Some great pitching performances from Kurt McCune and Trey Killian. And the Gatemen bats came alive tonight. 3 runs in the second, 2 runs in the fourth, and a run in the seventh as the Gatemen get back in the win column. Their 3rd win of the summer tonight, Austin. How badly did they need this one?
They needed it. There's just no question. This could be the start of something big, or this could be not a one-time thing, but just a little flash win. We'll have to wait and see. Tomorrow against Bourne, Wareham has a win on the season against Bourne, and well, this could be a stretch of maybe some easy games. Of course, it's a home and home with Bourne, but then it's Chatham, so it's easy for 2 more games, maybe. No, obviously we give credit to Bourne, a good team, but it's going to be a difficult one on Friday against Chatham.
Well, let's keep it right here for the Wareham Wrap post-game show. Here with Austin Pollock, I'm Mike Monaco. Tonight's final score from Spillane Field. The Gatemen get back on track and get their 3rd win of the summer with a 6-3 victory over the YD Redsox in a rematch of last year's championship series between these 2 squads. And really the first time these teams have played and Wareham comes out victorious, the team has got to feel like a weight's been lifted from their shoulders.
Oh yeah, no Mikey White, no Tino Lipson, and if you can win games without those 2 guys, and that's a good win. Yeah.
So the Gatemen tonight get the win. We'll be joined later on by our co-players of the game. We will not hear from manager Cooper Ferris tonight. We may try to catch up with him later on, but as of now, probably not going to have a Coop Scoop tonight due to extenuating circumstances. Get plenty of Cooper Ferris action elsewhere, though. Be sure to check out Around the Horn and hear from manager Ferris. But right now, the story tonight was Gatemen offense came alive tonight. We mentioned it. 3 runs in the 2nd inning, 2 in the 4th. They added on another one for insurance in the 7th. Austin, what did you see differently in this lineup tonight?
I thought they were really patient because, as I mentioned, against Katuitt and Orleans, not very patient at all. Really just rushing at bats, not waiting for the right pitch, trying to do too much with the ball. But tonight they were patient, and I think this win's going to get everybody in a good mood, and that this could lead to bigger and better. This could lead to big things ahead. And you got to give credit to YD. It's maybe their pitching staff might not be the best, and Wareham certainly knew that and came in with the right focus to take advantage of that. But YD's hitting was really good, one of the best in the league, But credit to Wareham pitching. They shut the door, especially Trey Killian.
Bottom of the 2nd inning was when the runs started to come about for the Gatemen. Chris Chinea led off the inning with a single. Cole Stancil then struck out, but then Matt Walsh came to the plate. He had a single. Then Ethan Gross, an RBI single there. That started the scoring for the Gatemen. And really, that was all they needed from there, as the offense just seemed to find its groove. They did end up needing more runs, as YD then turned around and got 2 in the top of the 3rd inning. But from that point on, it was Chinea with the hit, then Walsh, then Gross, and the Gatemen offense was off and running.
It was just a really good offensive performance all around. There was not one point in the game where I thought, oh no, here we go again, where the offense is going to be quiet and nothing's going to happen. I was actually pretty confident that the hitting would come around. I saw they were hitting the ball in batting practice much better, and that's one of the better signs right there. It's what you do in BP.
And then in the 4th inning, the Gatemen tacked on 2 more. Adam Toth, with 1 out, came to the plate and doubled to get aboard. Then Cole Sturgeon had a tremendous bunt single in between 1st and 2nd. Sean McMullen walked, and then Trevor Podratz came to the plate and had a smoking 2-run single put the Gatemen out in front. At that point, it was 5-2. And from there, the Gatemen offense just cruised. Trey Killian came on in relief and shut down YD. He pitched 4 tremendous innings in relief of Kurt McCune, who kind of gets overshadowed a little bit tonight with the way the offense came forward. Kurt McCune gave up just 2 runs in those 5 innings in his first start of the summer. What'd you see there?
Yeah, I mean, I think the pitching always looks better when the hitting's better, and 3 runs was was pretty good tonight, especially because the six hits for Wareham made that look a little bit better. The 6 runs.
We will take a short break here on the Wareham Rap postgame show and be right back as we continue on with the postgame show. Back here on the Wareham Rap postgame show. Thanks for sticking with us. Austin has gone out to try to secure some of those interviews. It's proving to be a little more troublesome than we initially experienced at the beginning when we started these Player of the Game interviews. So thanks for bearing with us here as we roll on. Tonight the Gatemen get the 6-3 win against the YD Redsox. Very impressive all the way around. We won't hear from manager Cooper Ferris tonight. He's got other matters to attend to, but Kurt McCune came out, 5 innings of work, 6 hits, 2 runs, 3 walks, and a pair of strikeouts, and then he was relieved by the Arkansas right-hander Trey Killian, who the first 2 times we had seen him, he was a starting pitcher. Tonight he comes on in relief, works 4 innings, 3 hits, 1 run, no walks, but 5 strikeouts. I started to say no strikeouts. That was certainly not the case. He had 2 in each of his first 2 innings on the bump, replacing McCune. And it looks like right now we will actually hear from one of our players of the game. We'll be joined in just a moment by Trevor Podratz, and then shortly thereafter, Austin will join us as well. We'll be right there in 1 moment.
Switch is up, right?
Back here on the Wareham Rap postgame show with one of tonight's players of the game, Trevor Podratz. A few times now you've been our player of the game. Another 2-hit night for you. You had that big 2-run single back in the 4th inning. What were you thinking in that at-bat?
I think everybody in the park knew I was getting a slider first pitch. So I was just sitting dead red for that, and I was just looking for something up because when he threw the ball down, it had a lot of bite. And I got that one up and stayed pretty flat, and I had that hole in right center, so I was able to stay inside it well and give us a chance to score a couple runs.
And then back in the 1st inning, another pitch you stayed inside on kind of and drove it down the right field line for a double. What kind of went into your approach at the plate tonight? It seems that you always drive the ball well to the opposite field, but especially so tonight.
My first at bat, I was expecting fastball first pitch, and I was a little too geared up, and he threw me the slider. So after I saw that, I was able to just see his pitches as opposed to being really aggressive. And in that at bat, I was just looking for something that I could hit the other way, really, because that's what I feel most confident in, give me the best chance. And once he got to 3-2, I knew after throwing 2 sliders, he had to come with a fastball. So I was just looking for that, and got pitch over the black and was able to drive it down the line.
So the team was 1-9 in its last 10 games. How badly did it need tonight's win?
We needed it. I mean, we're always going to come out here and grind every single day, which is the name of the game, but we really needed that to keep us going because you always need some reassurance what you're grinding for. So it was good that we came out and put together a team effort. Our pitchers threw well. We got Stancil came and threw big, hitting the ball really well today, and we had a lot of timely hits and just good at bats all game.
Aside from the team just getting a win, it seemed like tonight was the night where the offense finally broke through a season high with 6 runs, and then it had 12 hits as well. How big was it for the offense to finally come around?
Oh, it was huge, and we worked a lot today. We did a different kind of BP, and I personally think it helps me, and a lot of the other guys say the same thing. They love what it does for us and our approach at the plate. Can minimize the game and slow it down a little bit, and that's what we were able to do tonight.
All right, thank you very much. One of tonight's players of the game, Trevor Podratz, joining us here on the Wareham Rap postgame show.
Always fun to see us.
Back here on the Wareham Rap postgame show with one of tonight's players. So as we roll on here on the Gatemen postgame show, thank you to Trevor Podratz for joining us, one of tonight's players of the game. And right now we will be joined by our second player of the game, another man who had a big night at the plate. We are joined now by Cole Stancil, who, like Trevor Podratz, a player of the game for his offensive performance tonight. Cole, what were you feeling at the plate? It seemed like you were locked in.
It felt good, I was seeing the fastball good, and that's what they just kept throwing, and they kept leaving it up, and I just tried to stay inside of it, just hit base hits and get guys on, put pressure on them.
I said just the other day that you've been hitting the ball really well, maybe not some for hits, but some not. You've been making contact, not really striking out, just putting good bat in the ball. You saw it again tonight. I mean, what have you been working on?
We did a lot of sort of angle work where the pitcher's off to the side, and you saw at our back hip trying to keep our hands inside the ball. And we've been doing that a lot, just staying inside of it, trying to square balls up and not miss our pitch. And we did that tonight real good. Scored 6 runs, our season high.
I was asking Trevor, with that season high and then your offense had 12 hits, how badly did you guys need this win, and how badly did the offense need to come alive tonight?
It was much needed. We've been down, trying to do a lot of things, and we just let everything happen tonight and worked out good.
So Bourne tomorrow, Bourne the next day, home and home, and then Chatham. Chatham, I don't think you're here for the Chatham game quite yet, but Chatham is a good team, and Bourne's been playing well too. Do you think, what do you guys have to do to keep going forward and really keep playing like you did tonight? Because you got some tough games coming up.
We just got to pitch like we did tonight, and both of our pitchers, Trey came in and did a great job, and I know Chris, right? Started out good. Kurt, that's what it was. It was Kurt. He started out. I know. He started out good. We just consistent pitching, and we didn't give up too many runs. We gave up like 3. So I mean, we did great, and we just put the ball in play when guys were in scoring position and do what we were supposed to do at the plate.
All right, thank you very much. Cole Stansel, one of our players of the game tonight, joining us on the Wareham Rap Post Game Show.